Welcome to the show. It's T with D. DJ spinning tracks. Got that reggae spree. Tune in the dots. Let the vibes be free. Late night session. Sip that turbo key. Come in on the late show. Sing it on the TNN. Hope you're feeling right. Cause we got the vibe so grand. Get cozy on the wine. With tunes that you be man. T with Pizza Spot. The best in podcast land. Welcome to the show. It's T with D. DJ spinning tracks. Got that reggae spree. Tune in the dots. Let the vibes be free. Late night session. Sip that turbo key. Come in on the late show. Sing it on the TNN. Hope you're feeling right. Cause we got the vibe so grand. Get cozy on the wine. With tunes that you be man. T with Pizza Spot. The best in podcast land. Welcome back, listen us to a cozy nook. Where the beats go like pages in a favorite book. Settling, feel the rhythm in every book. Tonight's the night, let's dance and cook. You have a great time, make yourself at home. In this real big zone, where the melodies from. See we please the legs out, where the music keeps you warm. Join the jam, find your peace in the storm. Welcome to the groove, it's tea with me tonight. Feel the reggae flow, let it make the world right. Come and find your comfort, we meet each other's right. With every track we spin, you take you to new heights. It's a place to chill, with rhythm that enchants. Join us the moment, let's give you all the chance. Turn up the sweet serenades, let the music down. Open up in my prayer time, I swear on in that chest. Welcome to the show. It's T with D. DJ spinning tracks. Got that reggae spree. Tune in the dots. Let the vibes be free. Late night session. Sip that turbo key. Come in on the late show. Sing it on the TNN. Hope you're feeling right. Cause we got the vibe so grand. Get cozy on the wine. With tunes that you be man. T with Pizza Spot. The best in podcast land. Welcome to the show. It's T with D. DJ spinning tracks. Got that reggae spree. Tune in the dots. Let the vibes be free. Late night session. Sip that turbo key. Come in on the late show. Sing it on the TNN. Hope you're feeling right. Cause we got the vibe so grand. Get cozy on the wine. With tunes that you be man. T with Pizza Spot. The best in podcast land. Hey, good night, host. It's time to unwind. Think favorite tracks. Leave your stress behind. Welcome to the show. This song was just for you. Be with peace, your crew. Where dreams is getting you. Come in on the late show. Sing it on the TNN. Hope you're feeling right. Cause we got the vibe so grand. Get cozy on the wine. With tunes that you demand. Be with peace, the spot. Leave your sleep podcast land.
Last thing I need is another picture of me looking like a porcelain doll. As a paying customer, I expect to get what I want.
Okay, yeah. Just lie down on the bed, the couch, yeah. And just put your arm up, yeah, just like that. Yeah, there we go. And keep your head up. Look at me, Rose. Look at me.
Every night
Stay still.
in my dreams, I see you. I feel you.
Saving money.
That is how I know.
Like your eyes, eh?
Go on.
Beneficial bacteria.
Far across the distance.
I'm done.
And spaces between us. You have come to show. Order your stash blend today.
I can't deal it, got me so tough. And I'm gonna take you traveling the world. I'm gonna love you, babe. Cross my heart and hope to die.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, happy Thursday. What is up? What is up? What is up? Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are warm. Kicking it fly today, baby, because it's Thursday. That means it's time for a little tea with P, baby. Your one-stop shop for all things nudes, culture, science, health, you name it. Nothing is off the table, baby. Good to see everybody pulling on up here today, guys. Thank you guys for joining. Look at you. Sean's here, man. I see Matt's here. Matt Lawson, good to see you, man. North Star in the house. Good to see you, man. Idiom is here. Northern Scrogger's here, dude. Let's go, man. On a roll. How you doing, man? South Dakota Scrogger, what's up? What's up? Got the double phone here. We got the Twitch in the chat too, man. Blankster, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Good to see everybody pulling up from the Twitch chat as well. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys, man. Smitty, how you doing, man? Crab is here, dude. We got everybody pulling up, man. I'm just kind of check everybody out, make sure we got everybody here. High Plains Bud, good to see you too, man. Nug Shrub, what up, dude? Default's here too, girl. Good to see you. Jim D, 1617. Nude, science, culture, health, you name it. Nothing's off the table, baby, because that's just the way we like it, man. We got a great show in store for you, friends. Great show in store for you. But first, I want to know, yo, what's up, Brina? What's up, Blazing Arizona? Good to see you too, man. The amazing Thunderlips, friend. Good to see you. Pigeon's been hitting the gym, looking good. Yo, Nick, can you tell?
I told you I could tell.
Can you tell? Woo-wee. Thank you, man. Sticky Skunk, good to see you. Good to see you, man. Thank you, everybody, for pulling up. What a beautiful Thursday it is. This is the every week nudes podcast show where we like to talk about everything in regards to growing, in regards to the culture, the science, everything. Nothing's off the table, as I mentioned earlier. So thank you guys for pulling up. Wow, Trent, look at that, with a gifted membership to DJ Barry. Doughboy, man. Good to see you guys. What are you smoking on? What are you smoking on? John Lindsay's in the house. John, good to see you, friend. Smoke a lot of potamus. Good to see you, friend. Good to see you. Good to see everybody, man. Thank you guys for pulling up. Banger show today, guys. Banger show today, friends. We've got Swank Genetics joining us in studio on the big screen for a wonderful conversation. Swank is a friend of mine, colleague, and partner, business partner. Sorry, we don't need anyone to storm off onto Twitter here with any allegations, okay? Any allegations, bro? So yeah, we got that coming up, man. We're gonna be talking about all kinds of things, man. It's been a crazy nudes week, actually. In fact, did you guys catch an interview with Dr. Daniel Amons? Tucker Carlson. He was on Tucker Carlson's show, and man, let me tell you, there was a lot of bullshit going on over there. I'll tell you right now. I watched it, so you didn't have to. We're gonna dive into that. Massive bust too, huge bust. Man, we've got so much to talk about. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, the big nudes, It's time for a little Stash Nutrients pre-order extravaganza, baby. Pre-orders are live right now for Stash Nutrients. My boys, Chris, Rob, partnered up with Nate from Grower's House, and we have brought you Stash Nutrients. And, well, Stash Nutrients goes live. We're hoping by the end of, or by mid next month. But pre-orders are available. You can get your nutrients today, or you can get your pre-order in now, stashnutrients.com. Don't miss out. You're going to want to check it out. Am I a little off on that shot there, Mrs. P? Go back for a second.
Which shot?
Not bad. Stashnutrients.com.
If you quit moving.
No. Stash nutrients, guys. We've constantly been saying with Stash Blend, you provide the base. Stash Blend has everything else. Well, as a matter of fact, now we've got you covered with Stash Base and Stash Bloom. The two of them together are going to provide you the base, and with Stash Blend, you're going to get everything else. So huge shout out to you guys. Huge shout out to everybody who's already pre-ordered. This is a nutrient that I think is going to change the game. Made easy so that you can grow and grow heavy. So check that out. Also, guys, if you're looking for new grow equipment, few housekeeping items we got to get out of the way. Black Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Black Friday sales are live. If you head on over to vivosun.com, use promo code PIGEONS420 on select sales. What was it, Mrs. P? The flash sales, the promo code is not eligible for, but everything else, the promo code is eligible for. So if you're in the mood, in the market for some new grow gear, consider going to vivosun.com, use promo code PIGEONS420, and save a little bit, man. Save a little bit for the sales, dude. You won't be disappointed. Also, I think Mr. Grow It will be doing some for Black Friday sales as well. So MrGrowit.com, keep an eye on that. Also, huge shout out to Seedsman. They are a partner of the show. If you're looking for a great source of quality genetics, look no more. Head on over to Seedsman. Check them out. You can get a wide variety of genetics, quality genetics from quality breeders. And you can also use promo code PIGEONS420 and save a few dollars off at checkout. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, how's that? Pretty seamless, pretty smooth, if I may. Mrs. P, how are you?
I'm good.
That was good, huh?
That was good.
Coming right at you really
good.
fast all
Yep.
of a sudden.
I'm
Yeah?
good. I'm good.
Good.
Yep.
We got Swank in the studio today.
We do.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm going to be bunking with that guy real soon, actually, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, having him in the studio to talk is going to be fantastic. Are you a new grower? Are you looking at becoming a new grower? Are you intimidated? Are you a little bit worried about jumping in and testing the water with both feet? Well, guess what? If you don't want to scour the internet over hours and hours of footage on how to grow your own weed, well, guess what? You can grow with P, ladies and gentlemen. If you head on over to my Patreon, patreon.com/pigeons420, starting next Tuesday. So starting Tuesday, live grow classes. They're 30 minutes every 2 weeks, live in person, and we are going to be growing the same. We're going to be growing everything, and we're going to be growing heavy and hard, man. If you're interested, head on over to patreon.com/pigeons420 and check it out. I know there are a ton of resources out there for if you would like to grow weed yourself or for free, or if you want to just do the homework. I encourage you to do that. But if you're interested on how I do things, how I manage to work a schedule of a father and a husband and friend and volunteer and still keep quality cannabis in my garden, that's what I'm going to teach people. So if that's something you're interested in, come check out. That's next week. That's Tuesday, November 25th. You can grow with P. Ladies and gentlemen, come check it out, okay? Come check it out. Also, did you guys see the episode that myself, Troy, Rob, and Mr. Grow It all did together last Sunday? Did you guys see that? No? Dudes, Brothers Grimm. Shout out to Seedsman from Seedsman Strain Sessions. I had the absolute pleasure to sit down with Mr. Soul from Brothers Grimm Genetics. And if you don't know who that is, my gosh, OGs in the space. That we also got to sit down with Montel Williams, guys. Montel Williams. I've got to sit down with Ice-T was there too, man. Ice-T we sat down with. That was friggin' awesome, dude. I was just talking with like absolute legends. And then I had the opportunity to sit down with Troy, Chris, and Rob as well. And man, it was a wicked conversation. I have to admit, it's kind of tough when you've got 7 people on a panel trying to have a conversation. It can be a little bit cumbersome perhaps, but dude, I'm telling you, it was so much fun. I can't believe I got to talk to Ice-T and Montel Williams and Mr. Soul all in one conversation. That is epic. That is epic. Mrs. P watches Law and Order, doesn't she?
I couldn't be in the room because I was having a little bit of a fangirl moment. I'm not going to lie.
A little fangirl moment. It was pretty epic.
Well, Montel raised us, for
Yeah.
starters.
Yeah, he did.
If you stayed home sick from school at any point in your childhood, Montel was there. And, I mean, yeah, Law & Order SVU is one of my all-time favorite guilty pleasures, and Ice-T's been on it since day one. So
Right.
it was surreal. It was very surreal. I popped in. I think I brought you a coffee at one point, and I just stood there in awe for a minute because it's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. It was surreal, man. It was surreal. I've had the opportunity to, interview a lot of incredible people. Everyone from Tommy Chong to Jay Chandasenkar from Super Troopers to Ice-T, Montel Williams, and then not to mention the incredible people from our own space. Todd McCormick, the legendary Swank. Like it's just an absolute blessing to be able to do this kind of thing. And man, to have you guys there to watch that, thank you guys for pulling up. Thank you for pulling up, because that was pretty damn awesome. Speaking of pulling up, guys, did you guys know December 4th is the Home Growers Takeover? The Home Growers Takeover. This is in Vegas. December 4th. That's a Thursday. Come hang out. We're going to toke. We're going to joke. We're going to have ourselves a great time. And I don't want you to miss it, man. Because, fuck, we're going to be smoking large. There might be some goodies to hand out. So, yeah, come smoke heavy, man. You do not have to buy tickets to the show, okay? To the event.
Show?
To the event, I mean. To the MJ BizCon. It's outside, so yeah, it's open to anybody, man. Come and smoke, dude. Come and smoke. And just have some fun. It's gonna be a banger, dude. We're smoking pot about it. Yes, we are.
I want to be on the poster next year, just as a FYI.
Ah, yes. Captain Canadian.
Captain Canadian.
Or what's Madam America? What's her name? Miss America? Wild America?
Oh.
Bald Eagle American?
No, I know.
Miss
which one.
Independent?
I can't remember what her name is.
Miss Independence?
Damn.
Shania Twain.
Yeah, no. Shania Twain. Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
That's the one.
That's it.
Except
Captain
I'm pretty sure
Marvel.
that's copywritten, so.
Yeah. So you're Captain Canadian. I said this.
Captain Cannabis.
Captain Cannabis.
There you go.
Hey, welcome to the Grow Tents in the house. Good to see you, brother. Welcome in, man. Ryan's here too. Ryan, good to see you.
What do you mean next year won't have a poster, Rob?
Next year won't have one. Might not have a poster. No, it's gonna have a 9-minute short film is what's gonna happen, dude.
I don't
I'm telling
care
you
if
right
I'm
now.
on the poster. I just want to be there. I didn't get to go this year.
Nope. But not this year, dear.
Not
We
this
need
year.
someone to stay home and man the fort.
Yeah.
So, a few things that I saw, crazy things that I saw on the internet. I want to give a shout out to an OG. An OG. This OG's been doing some crazy things and standing up for people in need for a very long time. And I just wanted to highlight her because it's definitely worthy of it. Have you guys ever heard of Brownie Mary? This is a clip I've seen before, but actually just happened to pop up on my feed the other day. And I thought, you know what? People like this need to be highlighted. So check this clip out.
So you felt you were a great source of comfort bringing those brownies.
Of course I was. And if I could get more, I would have made more. And if I can get any again, I'll keep doing it.
Even if it means that you'll wind up in prison?
I'll go to jail for my cause. You damn right I will. I'll go to jail for my cause.
See that caption?
In a hot second.
Mary has great compassion for people who are dying, and they should have at least half as much compassion for the people and allow them to smoke at home.
John Wilson is one of Mary's kids, as she calls them, an AIDS victim who says he has benefited from the brownies. Mary says that by eating a half a brownie before and after chemotherapy, her kids avoided the nausea that comes with chemotherapy.
They sail through it and then munch a bunch, which helps them with the wasting syndrome, keeps their weight up.
So you felt you
Too crazy, eh? This says right there in the caption, an interview with Brownie Mary, the woman who baked cannabis brownies for AIDS. And then if you, AIDS patients, sorry. And then if you see on the side, Mr. McCormick here mentions that Mary was my old friend and had a huge inspiration for my activism and someone I actually made brownies with in my own kitchen. So, man, that right there is the definition of activism. That right there is the definition of OG. And you heard it there first. She's like, I don't care if I go to prison. She's doing something. She's doing the Lord's work. And that right there is a gangster. Yep. That right there is a gangster. You're absolutely right. So shout out to Mary. Shout out to her doing her thing, man. I wanted to highlight that because guess what? If this pigeon can be half as gangsta as Mary, then I'm on the right track. I want to advocate and I want to help as many people as possible. And that's someone who's doing it, was doing it, and was doing it proudly. And I
She
love
might
that.
be my new favorite person.
Yeah, right? Right? So, has anybody else found that AI has changed their regular viewing experience of the internet?
Yes.
Have you felt as if like you can't believe anything you see anymore?
Yes.
I see things where I'm like, that's not true. That's not real. That can't happen. That's no way. That's got to be AI.
How often do I show you videos and you're like, that's not real? I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then we look at the comments. It's like, oh, no, it's
I'm
definitely
like, that's AI for sure. That's AI for sure. Well, guess what? I found a video here that is definitely not AI. Check this out. It's got a. It should be loud enough. It should be okay. Turn it up a little bit.
Are you sure?
Yep. Now, do me a favor, Mrs. P, and go to his profile. They click his name on the right there. Yeah. Just click it. He does this kind of work all the time. Check on the next one. Just check that one that's pinned, the top one.
This one?
Yeah. Can you zoom in a little bit more or no?
It doesn't let me zoom in on these.
One more.
I can't zoom in.
Yep. Wow. Controlling the wheel. All these are real. Yeah, I think if you control and scroll in one more time, you can.
It only
One more time.
does the...
One more. There you go. There you go. Perfect. And then so you back up from that, click off that one, go to the next one. Not that one, we just watch that one. This one. Check this out. Zoom in a bit. That's good. Dude. Like the next time I do mushrooms, dude, I'm going to go through this guy's every single video because that is epic. I'm telling you, it's like I scrolled through, and what's his name, Mrs. P?
Neoliptus?
Neoliptus. Make sure you go and follow because we got to give credit where credit is due. Awesome stuff, man. I love seeing cool things that just make you like just question your reality, your own existence, your own reality. I had another one here too. Check this one out. This one will be the one that's definitely great on mushrooms or like
It looks
acid.
like it would be.
Yeah. A little LSD. Good DMT trip right here. Dude. Definitely going to be getting copywritten. I want to turn this one down a little bit. I'm trying to make noise over top of it. There we go. Trying not to get copywritten. If you're watching this after the live and you don't hear it, it's because I did get copywritten and I had to remove it. But you wouldn't know that because it's quiet right now. Like, what? Man, the 70s would have been insane with this stuff, dude.
Can you imagine if this existed in the 70s?
Oh, no. Is this not insane? Insane. It's crazy what AI has done. It's amazing what it has the potential to do even, I think. Right back to the beginning. Wow. Was that not amazing, dude? I love that. I love that where it's like you take your mind for a little trip because yes, please. Why not?
Like his whole page is the same thing.
Yeah, same thing, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Dude, shout out to everybody for pulling up. We got a great show in store. If you guys didn't see already, Tucker Carlson had Dr. Daniel Ammons on his show, and I was actually quite interested in the conversation before I started watching because I thought, you know what, maybe this could be good. You know, I was. It's fair to say that, I was very quickly proven wrong. And so what I've done is I've compiled a few clips with a little bit of my commentary to, go over just what I think of the hypocrisy, the misinformation, the sheer just lies that are being told. So we're going to dive into that. Plus, we have a massive bust that happened. Huge bust of 100,000+ plants. We're going to be diving into that as well. And man, there's so many crazy stories going on right now. Guy busted for growing one plant. But before all of that, hashtag but first. We're going to take over that hashtag, Mrs. P. But first.
I feel like it's probably copywritten at this point.
The hashtag? No. That's my hashtag.
The quote, the saying, the everything about it.
But first. No. Julie Chen, Moonvez, you got nothing on me. Okay? I'm coming for you. Hashtag but first. Okay, we're gonna dominate that hashtag. But first, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know, what are you toking on in these educational, documentary friendly genetic inserts? What are you enjoying today? Well, you're not actually enjoying it, heaven forbid we glamorize it. What are you ripping, ladies and gentlemen? I'm on some peanut butter breath, bred by those that shall not be named, through seedsmen, originally by Thug Pug Genetics. Cheers. Hashtag but first. Smoking on some Mosh Pit, crossed with Private Reserve, a sure banger, and enjoying it. Apple fritter at the moment, wedding cake. You didn't pull your news from Fox, right? Maybe sometimes, but I'd vet everything. Face down, ass first, 2 Live crew, baby. Love that. North Star, does that Nintendo work? Yep, those all work right there, but I'll tell you what. Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation. Original. Actually, I'll be honest, the Xbox needs a little work, but it does work. Chad Westport's in here too. Mr. Chad Westport. Good to see you, brother. Welcome in, man. Good to see you, friend. Guys, without further ado, let's jump into the news.
Canna News. All things culture, science, and health. Your one-stop shop for all things Canna News.
Oh, sorry. I was posing. Who said I would look like I was going to the gym? I just do this in between each set. Okay? Every time. Each thing, every commercial. I don't actually. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nudes. As you guys know, this is your one-stop shop for all things Canna Nudes. Whether it's nudes, culture, science, health, you name it, nothing is off the table. And I mean that. Nothing is off the table. I want to touch all subjects from all sides of the spectrum of our beautiful plant. And I want to have a discussion in a civilized manner, highlighting the importance, trying to dispel the myths and the misinformation, and try to teach people, if not teach, but show that growing cannabis is one of the most enlightening, one of the most powerful techniques, one of the most powerful hobbies that you can have in your life. And I think through the power of word and through the power of message and through the power of the internet, we can share that message to as many people as possible. So my name is Pigeons. I am a huge advocate for growing your own weed. And if you would like to have a further, more in-depth discussion, hit me up, man. Hit me up. You can hit me up over on X or Twitter at Pigeons420. I am also on Instagram at Pigeons420. And I'm live damn near every single day over on Twitch.tv/. twitch.tv/pigeons420. And shout out to everybody who's on Twitch right now, man, because I'm streaming live there right now. I see Adobe, I see Dark Lotus, Island Scrogger, Smitty. Thank you guys for tuning in over on Twitch. I appreciate it, guys. So we're live there all the time. So if there is a topic of discussion that we are discussing or that you would like to discuss, hit me up, guys. Hit me up. I often, when I'm rambling, I got the comments right in front of me. There you go. Often when I'm rambling, though, I try not to look at the comments because they can distract me from the point that I have at that current time. So if you ask a question and I miss that question or I skim through it, please feel free to ask it again. Okay, you can ask it at any time after each story. I like to kind of go through the questions. So if you ask something, don't be afraid. Okay. So needless to say, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, Tucker Carlson, formerly from Fox News, MSNBC, he's been everywhere. Or CNN, I think he was on too, has his own show. And regardless of what you think about Tucker Carlson, regardless of what your opinion is of him, he has started his own podcast and his own at-home news network. And there have been a couple of segments that he has done where I've tuned in and I thought, wow, this is actually quite insightful. For example, the 9/11 episodes. I think he did 5 episodes about 9/11, and I thought they were very insightful. And it really looked at the conspiracies and the inside job of it all. Well, when I had seen that he had a doctor on his show speaking about cannabis, I thought, wow, this is a good opportunity for me to learn something, because it's not too often that I get to hear a doctor talk for 2+ hours about cannabis and the effects of the brain. However, it did not take me long to figure out that this was a very maybe not politically, but this was a very narrative-driven message by the doctor, and through scare tactics and misinformation, tries to, in my opinion, steer people in the wrong direction of the realities and the benefits of cannabis. Now, before I get too deep into this, I want to caveat this by saying one thing. I am always willing to talk about the negatives of cannabis. I think it is beyond important, and in fact, damaging if you don't talk about the negative sides of cannabis to everyone, because there are negative sides. Okay. And it's more than just munchies late at night or sleeping during a meeting. We could get into carcinogens from smoking and inhaling cannabis and so on and so forth, but I digress. I've got a few clips here that I highlight where it seems as if the doctor kind of exposes himself in each kind of clip. And I'm going to start things off with the intro of this interview. Go ahead, Mrs. B.
What are the effects of cannabis on the brain, marijuana on the brain?
So I published a study on 1,000 marijuana users, compared it to our healthy group. Every area of their brain was lower in blood flow and activity. And then just this year,
Measurably
on the imaging study we do, which is called SPECT, S-P-E-C-T, single photon emission computed tomography. It looks at blood flow activity, but also looks at mitochondrial function.
Okay. The key to take that away from there is the SPECT, the spectrophoton emissions, whatever his test is. We're going to dive into that test in just a second, but I want you to listen to the claims that he's making against cannabis, and I want you to listen to how he justifies it. So the next clip, in regards to brain damage on the rise in children
today.
So have you noticed, since you do treat children as well, an increase in damaged brains that you can attribute to marijuana use?
Absolutely. An increase from when we started.
So that seems like a public health concern.
It's totally a public health concern. We should be completely freaked out. And people are like, marijuana is innocuous, marijuana is innocuous. And it's like, why are you saying that?
Because
when
they're
it
getting
increases?
rich from it, probably.
Well, the marijuana industry, which hates me, spends $3 billion a year on marketing.
So how are they different from the Sacklers at Purdue Pharma then? Like lying to people about the health effects of the drug they're profiting from.
Listen to this. Listen.
I mean, it seems like the same.
It's a weapon of mass destruction.
Marijuana.
Pause it.
And the weed.
It is a weapon of mass destruction. Public health crisis. People should be scared. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not talking about alien invasions from from giant robots. No, they're talking about this plant that grows on this planet naturally. You listen to the tones of the words that they're using, and it makes you kind of question, well, what's the narrative? What's the narrative? And listen to how he throws out such incredible claims. Listen to this next one. Listen to this next one in regards to testosterone.
The industry hates you?
Of course.
Have they attacked you?
All the time.
Really? What do they say?
If I post something on one of my social media sites, they'll call me a charlatan and hysterical and that I should get high. And they should take my medical license and all sorts
the
of
next
Take
one.
your medical?
The next one. Sorry. The next one.
This was the next one.
I know. The next one after the next one.
Oh, jeez.
I that was tied to the weapons of mass destruction. The testosterone clip, please.
What does marijuana do to testosterone levels?
Lowers it.
Conclusively, you can say that.
Yes. And we have this younger generation who have
Listen
low
to this.
testosterone levels. They've been getting lower and lower, and we have to ask them, so why is that? And part of it is, this is going to sound really crazy, but I believe it. The dermatologist won. They made us afraid of the sun. And now
we're afraid of the
these
sun.
record levels of low vitamin D levels, but we also have record levels of toxins being put on our bodies. So mom thinks she's really being a great mom if she lathers her son or her daughter with sunscreen.
And
now we've seen
sunscreen.
in the last couple of years, sunscreens have come under a lot of scrutiny because of the toxins they have in them.
So he does this actually quite a bit. He talks about, earlier on, he talked about the toxic brain, and he said that, well, kids come in and they come in with toxic brains, and I can tell that they're doing drugs. And Tucker says, oh, you can tell they're doing drugs? Yeah. Well, it's toxic, but it could be toxic from mold or Lyme disease. And I'm thinking, interesting. The next clip right here is he's asked specifically about the medicinal property or the medicinal value of cannabis, and gives an anecdotal story. Sorry, this one's 3457.
Not in order?
No, they were. I just don't know how. I must not have wrote them down right.
And the third is, unlike alcohol, cannabis is actually a real medicine, effective medicine. It can save people's lives. That is the story that we hear every day. Assess the last part.
Good.
Is marijuana a medicine?
Well, I think when used properly, it can be helpful. So, for example, my mother-in-law, who I love dearly, had stage 4 lung cancer.
He loves his mother
and wasn't eating.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, absolutely. Let's see if marijuana will help her. For certain people with glaucoma, it can be helpful.
Did it help her?
Yes.
That's quite a large pivot. Pause it.
But not for much else.
Did it help? And you notice how he pauses there, because the answer is yes. The answer is yes. He does eventually say yes, but you notice how he pauses there, because he's caught in his own argument that it helped, but then he has to pivot and caveat that with, but not for much else. And play the clip further, because he confirms that he only really believes that cannabis is good for glaucoma and appetite, for getting an appetite.
And if you're using it for anxiety, it's going to make you more anxious.
Right.
So yes.
So glaucoma, which is swelling of the eye, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Increased intraocular pressure.
Okay.
And to help with appetite.
Okay.
It can help with pain, but if you start using it for pain, you're not going to stop. And
why do you say that? What does that mean?
Well, if you're using it for pain, it's going to suppress the pain, and when you stop using it, it's going to come back. So if you don't go to the origin of the pain,
yes,
and pain. I have a new book coming out in December.
So pause it here. He's got a new book. Of course he does.
When you quit taking opioids, the pain comes back.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Medicine doesn't generally fix whatever is related to the pain. You got a broken arm, you can take medication all you want to numb that pain, but guess what? You need to heal that wound through time, really, is ultimately, right? And, maybe setting the bone and getting things done properly. You can take as much medication as you want. That arm is not going to unbreak itself just by taking a pill. No, you're going to take care of the pain. People have chronic pain where they just live in a state of pain always. Then, yes, you use a medication to mitigate that pain. So it would only then lead to the fact that you would then want to take this medication for a indefinite amount of time. Well, they're prescribing opioids the exact same way for an indefinite amount of time. Why not use a medication that is so much less damaging? Now, I can go on for that for a minute. However, you might be thinking, why is he saying these things? What narrative? Always. It's called the Socratic method, and I live by it. Ask questions. If you don't know the story of Socrates, it's a great one. I won't get into it right now. However, he asked questions, annoyingly so. Continued with why. And when you ask why, you tend to get to answers that either lead to genuine compassion and genuine concern, or there's a narrative involved. And remember, he mentioned that SPECT scan that he does for his patients. Well, guess what? Just a very easy, very simple Google of this man gives you this information. And this is Wikipedia, for example. Just a slight zoom in, please, Mrs. P. Dr. Gregory Amen is an American celebrity doctor. Now, he's no Dr. Phil, who practices as a psychiatrist. He is the founder and chief executive officer of Amen Clinics. He is also the founder of Change Your Brain Foundations, Brain MD, and Amen University. Okay, so go on. He is a 12-time New York Times bestselling author as of 2023. Amen has built a profitable business around the use of the controversial practice of SPECT, single photon emissions computed tomography, imaging for diagnostic purposes. His marketing of SPECT scans and much of what he has to say about the brain and health in his books media appearances, and marketing of his clinics have been condemned by scientists and doctors as lacking scientific validity and as being unethical. Now, of course, if you'll see here, I checked into all these sources, and it says, especially since the way SPECT is used in his clinics exposes people to harmful radiation, with no clear benefits. Well, I'll be damned. No kidding. Through his time at his clinic, he says that he did a survey of 1,000 people, and all of their brains were slow. May that have anything to do with the radiation, sir? May that have anything to do with the fact that this is perhaps an unethical method of imagery? This is almost textbook in regards to the information mainstream media will push to you to make us believe. And it's not for you and I. This isn't for the average cannabis consumer. It's for the moms and pops. It's for the grandma and grandpas. It's for the young, the people that don't know, the people that are going to take this information because they trust Mr. Carlson and they trust Dr. Amen, and they think, wait, this is a weapon of mass destruction. This is a scare. This is a public, what was it? A public disaster or a public crisis. People are going to get scared. It immediately annihilates any room for conversation. It immediately makes it so that rather than having a reasonable discussion about the benefits and downsides and negative effects of cannabis, you now got to bring someone down from the roof as they've got their claws in, thinking that this is the end of the world as we know it. And so there are plenty of articles. There's plenty of articles out there that just suggest that he's running scams. The brain scam, essentially in his own, in the doctor's own writing, he is trying to say through his imagery, he can detect and prevent Alzheimer's. Yeah. I feel like that's exploiting the weak and the deprived, not the deprived, but the weak and the impressionable. Vulnerable. Thank you, Ms. P. And there's another article that shows that his stories and books have been scrutinized. This is from the Science-Based Medicine. Daniel and Tana Amen's book, The Brain Warrior's Way, Standard Health Advice Mixed with Misinformation and Fanciful Ideas. So careful what you read, ladies and gentlemen. It's a shame that with such a large platform, Tucker Carlson does not like weed, and has made it very clear. And for some reason, if you look, who is it? What's that chick? That reporter's name? That chick's name? That Abrams, Laura Abrams. She thinks that weed is responsible for mass shootings. So is it just me, or does it seem as if there is a consensus or a collected effort to try to sway people from using cannabis in the mainstream? It's like a collective. Did you pull that up, Mrs. P?
What?
Or I just saw you searching. I didn't know if you were looking.
Oh, I didn't know who Laura Abrams was.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just trying to find a picture of her because I could.
She's also a fearmongerer. She's just pushing misinformation.
I have no respect for people that try to and scare people.
Well, it all comes down to money, right? It's the same thing with this farm bill. Mitch McConnell pushed this hemp bill because he's making X number of dollars from Big Alcohol. Big Alcohol is one of his largest sponsors, or one of his main sponsors. This is a proven fact. It's all public information. So it's like, of course they're going to push this information. So it only makes sense then that if Mitch McConnell's being paid by Big Alcohol, well then what? Are our reporters and our networks also being paid by Big Alcohol? Of course. You would think so anyways, right? That would be the logic to jump to. So I pass the question off to you guys. What do you think when it comes to the representation of cannabis in the mainstream? Do you feel as if there is some form of collected effort to tarnish the name of it, especially with this ban that's coming down? Or do you think that there isn't a collected effort? It's just people are trying to raise the negative side of cannabis, and people like me, although say that we want to talk about the negatives, refuse to take it seriously when those negative conversations arise. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, because I want to hear from you. Okay. It's very important to me. So yeah. And as I'm just skimming back through the comments, friends, I want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. So if there's a question that you had or a comment, please let me know. Let me know. They found cannabis in Egyptian caskets and tombs. So if they valued the plant enough to take it with them, come on now. Yeah, that's a great point too. Yeah, that's a great point. And we've already proven too that cannabis is valuable for a number of ailments. You know, CBD for epilepsy. It's great for inflammation. You know, we've got athletes that use it as well. These are well documented. So for him to say that the only benefits are for glaucoma and
appetite.
Yeah, increasing appetite. Then I just think, how can you take him seriously? Cannabis is not a weapon of mass destruction. But that's just my opinion, and I want to know what you guys think, ladies and gentlemen. You can hit me up at Pigeons420 over on Twitter, over on Instagram, and or over on Twitter. I go live, or Twitch. I go live every single day. So if you want to come, I believe I'm one of the most accessible people on the internet in our space. So if you want to come and just have a general conversation, I'll probably be building a city. If you guys didn't know, I'm a part-time pilot, part-time city manager, city developer, part-time soldier. I do all kinds of things. But you're going to want to come tune in over on Twitch, guys. It's a great conversation. So please do so. Dude, he's crazy. What's up, Canna Lovers? Good to see you, Hotshot. Good to see you, my friend. Same old. You can't please everyone. No, that's the truth, Honorable. You're absolutely right. No wonder weed guys hate that doctor. Tasty Genetics. Yeah. As he was saying that too, he's like, the cannabis community hates me. It's like, no kidding, dude.
Right.
No kidding, dude. But yeah, that's kind of just where it's at for now. And I just want to remind everybody to be careful of what you're listening to and what you're taking in. And if you do hear people spewing these talking points, don't be afraid to question, and more importantly, don't be afraid to give them some benefit of knowing that this is information that is spreading. People are talking about cannabis being a weapon of mass destruction. So if someone says to you that it's a weapon of mass destruction, don't get mad at them. Don't get frustrated. Don't get disappointed. Use this as an opportunity to highlight, you can show them this video, or to highlight the benefits, and just highlight the narratives and the biases of the people that are spewing this kind of garbage, because I think the story is in the details. The devil's in the details. And I think that's important. So cheers, friends. I appreciate your face.
It annoys me that he brings anxiety into it too, because as somebody who was diagnosed in the 6th grade and put on more pharmaceuticals than you could imagine as a young child, I used cannabis to mediate my anxiety for many years, and have now just gotten to a point where I can control it and I can handle it and I know how to cope with it. But had I known back when I was a teenager that was helping me, I could have got off the pharmacy drugs much quicker. That made me zone out in class and not care about anything or anyone. And I think it's crazy that somebody can just say that without any experience in it. So
yeah, no, I agree. And you know what, Bad River Fam, you make a very good point. This is something I talk about quite often. He says, or they say, as long as we are arguing, they are happy. Work together is the key, and this community is already doing that. You're absolutely right, friend. It starts with discussion. It starts with open discourse and understanding that we don't all agree. We don't all agree. I'm a bong guy. My buddy Rob is a blunt guy. My buddy Chris is a blunt and joint and pipe guy. And you know what? It's like everybody enjoys their own thing. My buddy Chris Swank, he's a dab guy. And it's just like, dude, everybody enjoys something their own way. Whether you're a car guy or gal, whether you're a enjoy puzzles or fucking doesn't matter. We're all going to agree and disagree on stuff. And it's important to just be open to the other side of things, because that other side could be the side you eventually end up on. I've done that, where it's like I was hard stead on some pretty very important topics in my life. And it wasn't until I heard the other side, I thought, well, damn, that makes so much sense. And then I immediately was like, I can't think the other way anymore. So I'm open to that conversation. But this is an educational blast from the past. Oh yeah.
I feel like I need like music that I can play when you do that or something. It's just
not
quiet.
the Jeopardy tune. So.
No,
we can't do that. Yeah. However, no matter how bad you think it is, no matter how bad we think we have it, the lies that are being spewed, they have repercussions. And guess what? Those repercussions are a massive bust in Ontario, Canada, guys. Over 100,000 plants have been taken down and seized, dozens of people arrested, and this all happened like just a few days ago. Check this story out. There's actually a video attached to it too that have all the deets with it. So check this out. So this is in Ontario. These are fields of weed. First of all, hats off, dude. The guys that were doing this, people. So the Tindidiaga Police Services did that. 10 productive sites were identified and dismantled between September 2-3 and October 7. Investigators discovered illegal dumping sites and halted unlawful... a local quarry was depleted, negatively affecting the water table. That kind of sucks, I guess. 118,000 illicit cannabis plants seized at a value of $201 million. Pause this. 3 firearms?
You know you're in Canada when.
3 firearms?
3.
Hey there, bud. What are you doing there? I didn't even know those were here, bud. You weren't supposed to bring those. Oh my God,
And I guarantee they were hunting rifles. They were 100% legal hunting rifles.
How did those get here, bud? Oh God, 3 firearms. Wow, God, the dangerous level of just of organized crime that's happening here.
Right, 24 individuals.
Wow, and
24
guys and 3 guns. Jim, where's the gun? Tommy's got it. Tommy's got it.
Me.
We're sharing it. Aaron, you got the gun? No, Jimmy's got it. Fuck, where'd the gun go?
Not Ontario, California, guys. Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
The province of Ontario.
Oh, yeah, the OPP. This is in Canada, mate.
We're covering Canadian news today.
Yeah, Canada, dude. Okay, let her rip. We also got some contraband cigarettes. 3.7 million contraband cigarettes.
That's pretty normal.
Yeah. Some KG fine cut contraband tobacco. 35,000. Non-community members arrested. 19. Charges laid. 53. Dun. The OPP, that's the Ontario Provincial Police.ca.
What does non-community members mean?
Non-community members? I'm assuming people not from the community. Possibly immigrants, possibly just people from out of province.
Oh, okay.
People that are, yeah. So, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't really know where the proceeds, or I don't know anything about this organization that was handling this, bud. But, damn, that's huge. That's a massive hit. And I imagine that somewhere is going to feel that. Probably like Ontario. It's the illicit market, right? The good one, the good market. Pigeons 420 for legal reasons does not condone any illegal markets or any illegal activities. For these reasons, he does not expect anybody and all people to follow his advice and or listen to the crude and unreasonable but humorous things that he does say. There's a reason it's called the legacy market. It's going to be felt and it's going to hurt. But what were we going to say, Ms. B?
I'm just reading the description to the video and it gives more of the information. So it was stemming from investigation into illicit cannabis production sites involving non-Indigenous organized criminal networks on the Mohawk territory. Several search warrants were executed. So it was on reservation land.
Yeah.
By non-Indigenous organized criminal networks. So I don't know how you'd have non-Indigenous people on the reserve. That makes
tunnels.
That makes sense for the cigarettes, though.
Tunnels, though.
And then later it
tunnel
says
underneath coming up through the reserve.
4 pounds of dried illicit cannabis, a quantity of THC extract, $9.8 million worth of tobacco and cigarettes.
And it says $201 million street value. You know, realistically, that's probably $400,000 street value, right?
Like half.
There's no way it's $200 million. The OPP's just thinking, yeah, we got this. And who's down with the OPP?
They're probably basing it off of dispensary prices, not street prices.
Right.
So,
right. Not even close.
No.
Not even close. But you know what? What's crazy to me, though, is that one of the stories we have, not the next one, Miss B, but this, we're going to make it the next one, busted for growing 100,000 plants. I can't imagine how much work that takes, Mrs. P.
Well, they said 24 people were charged, so at least 24 people were
Hey, Siri,
farming.
what's 110,000 divided by 24? 4,500 plants each guy.
Per person, yeah.
4,500 plants each guy.
But you've got to think of it on a farming level, right? Like, they would have equipment. So, like
I get yeah, you'll have irrigation,
irrigation system,
and they were taking, but they will because they were taking it from the quarry.
Reservoir,
the reservoir,
yeah,
and depleting the water. Those things would take a lot of water.
Which the thing is, if you're on a reserve, that's your own water.
Yep, you would think,
So
but
you're
in
only
Canada,
hurting-
that's federal land.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how it works, though, right? It's not even their land; it's federal
Then
land.
you just go to the federal government and you ask for more.
Yeah, we've
That's
seen
how it
that
works.
Yeah, let's see how that works.
That's how it works.
But crazy, we got a story here out of New Jersey of a guy getting busted for growing one plant. Cannabis home grower caught in Gloucester growing one plant. Home grower raided by township police. On October 17th, my home was raided. Want to zoom in? The warrant was for facilitating a marijuana cultivation and processing facility. Phil DeAngelis wrote to Hetty NJ. They thought they were walking into a grow house with hella weapons and money. I don't sell. I'm just a pothead who grows to support my own smoke, he explained. They took all my medicine. DeAngelis noted that at 6 a.m., all he could hear was yelling outside of his home from a bullhorn, as if I was holding hostages. But he was sleeping and didn't hear them. There was a SWAT team in my house. D'Angelo said he was body slammed along with his wife. When they came in, his whole family, including his young children, were then held at gunpoint by police. He was handcuffed quickly. Quick message brought to you by that soap. I was just in boxers, dude, he said, and the cop demanded. They didn't believe me. They found one plant and 5.5 pounds of mushrooms in a bag, he noted. One plant, 5 ounces. Not bad. He's doing very well. One plant, 5 pounds. He must have just harvested. While caught with one plant, D'Angelo did say he was growing 5 plants recently. Dun, dun, dun. He's an honest guy, dude. While they had been harvested and they were no longer being grown, the flower harvested was found by police. Wow. So check this out. In New Jersey, this is the law that you find. So if you have 6 ounces or less and you get busted, you're fine. It's no incarceration and no fine. However, if you have more than 6 ounces, it's a crime of 18 months and $25,000. For distribution, less than 1 ounce without remuneration, nothing and nothing. But for the first offense, 0 and 0. But it's a written warning. But look at this. As soon as it less than 1 ounce for a subsequent offense, $10,000 and 18 months. So it's like, Jesus, who's working for the cannabis police over there in New Jersey? Because who's monitoring this shit? So when people say, look at that, 25 pounds or more, you're looking at $300,000. So when people say, oh, just decriminalize it. So if you see those 2 rows right there,
Dude, this one.
more than 1 ounce, less than 5 pounds, 3 to 5 years, or $25,000. So when they say
Is it or and?
it would be
Like,
that would be maximum. So it would be up to, I'm assuming.
Oh, okay.
So if you're looking at the time is 3 to 5 years and the amount paid is $25,000, when they say decriminalize weed, you see the 1 column there for each thing about the time of incarceration. That's the only thing that's gone. All those fines would still exist. It just wouldn't be criminal anymore. So sure, you're not going to jail, but guess what? Who could pay $300,000 or $25,000? And guess what? When you can't pay the government back for something you did, guess what? You're going to jail. So it's like unpaid fines. Guess what? You're going to get probation or maybe some community service. So it's like, it's just a cop-out. Don't fall for the decriminalization scam. It's all smoke and mirrors. We want complete legalization, complete regulation. It has to be that way, because for anything less than that, it's just it's a work in the wrong direction. So what do you guys think, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think? I want to hear from you.
So would he have gotten the cultivation one then?
For 1 plant?
1 ounce, less than 5 pounds, less than 10 plants, 3 to 5 years, $25,000.
Yeah. Because he was considered a 1 plant cultivation facility.
More than 25 pounds, 50.
That's not a government that's for the people. That's all I'm saying. These aren't laws that are for the people. So when we're talking about the hemp ban, we're talking about the recent move by McConnell to push through the legislation for the hemp ban inside of the spending fund, or the spending budget, or the spending bill. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. That's not democratic. And more importantly, it's like, that's a fuck. I totally lost what I was saying. What was I saying?
Sorry, I don't know.
Pushing the shit through. Mitch McConnell pushing shit through. What was the last thing I was looking at?
We were looking at
Go back to it?
Cultivation fines.
Oh yeah, that's why. Oh, that's why with the push through with this hemp ban, we're gonna see some pushback. I titled incorrectly the thumbnail on this, that they're gonna get sued. The fact is that when it comes to this hemp ban, there isn't going to, it's not going to, I don't think it's gonna make it through. I'm gonna say this right now, and I'm a pessimistic asshole. I'll be the first to say it. I am not very optimistic when it comes to cannabis, but I do believe that it's gonna be a bureaucratic nightmare to be able to rescind what has already happened to CBD in legal states because of the 2018 Farm Bill. And I do not believe that provision in the spending bill will stick. I think there's going to be some kind of pushback for that, because do you guys remember, oh, actually go to my, Ms. B, on my Twitter, I posted a thing, it's on my retweets and replies of a clip of the president stating what's going to happen in the coming weeks. About rescheduling. I think I said, remember this. Shouldn't be too far ago.
Oh, yeah. It was after the banana bread.
The banana bread. That's right. But listen to this.
There you go.
And then I got another clip, and Mrs. P's going to have to find it because I just thought about it.
Why
Go
do
ahead.
you do this to me?
Because your pull-up game is fantastic.
People hate it. Some people hate the whole concept of marijuana because if it does bad for the children,
You can't make it louder because it's on TV.
older than children. Yes. We're looking at reclassification, and we'll make a determination over the next few.
Well, nobody can hear it. So the point is what he says there, that this is the clip of him saying that they're going to take rescheduling and they're going to look at it over the course of the next couple weeks. Go and follow me over on X. It was a very quiet clip to begin with, and things are already quiet enough over here. So go follow me over on X and see that clip. I retweeted it and I said, remember this. So they said they're looking at rescheduling in the coming weeks. Buckham. It's a clip of, just type in YouTube, politician calls out inside trading. Was it yesterday? I think it was. It's a senator, governor of East Tennessee. Gray-haired fella, woman behind him, guy behind him. That's a lot of scrolling, Mr. B. You should be right away. No. If you're scrolling that far, you didn't find it. No. So
I have Pelosi. I have Elon Musk.
No. Puffit or Puckett or something. So I could just see Mr. B just. If it's not in like the first three, we didn't search it well enough. Something like that.
Lawmakers urge ban on insider trading at major hearing.
Yeah, but I want the speech that he talks. He's talking to reporters outside in Congress, and in the White. I don't know where they are in the White House, or not the White House, but.
Okay, give me a second. This might be it.
Actually, I could probably try to find it too.
No, I think this is it. I'm just waiting for an ad to be over.
Oh, okay. We got ads. Thank you. Mrs. P's a professional. Shout out to Mrs. P. Shout out to Mrs. P for dealing with. Oh yeah, Tim Persett. Yeah. Picard knows what I'm talking about, but I think Mrs. P's got it.
Maybe.
It's just a clip from him. It was on his Twitter too. Yeah. Okay. No, that's the guy that was standing behind him. No.
Oh, maybe this is.
Neil. Okay. Well, my point is. Okay. So hold on. Picard got the name right. I'm almost certain that's the name. So Persett. How do you spell it? Sweat. Tim Burchett. There we go. Tim Burchett. Type in Tim Burchett. It's the first thing that comes up. Bucket. Then no wonder you just can't find shit, eh?
Oh, in a brown jacket?
Yep. So I just want you to watch this clip real quick because
so it was the right thing, just wrong section.
Wrong guy. Yep. Yeah, that's what I said. It was the guy that he was with. So.
This guy?
Yep.
Brother Paul, thank you, Seth. Thank you, Brian.
Listen to this.
Somebody asked me if I was going to wear my jacket up there, and I said, to quote the immortal words of Henry Winkler when he played the Fonz, I always rumble in this jacket, because that's what we're up against. This is a fist fight, folks. Now, first, I guess I need to thank Chairman Stiles and the committee, the House Admin Administration Committee,
for
taking this up, because I realize what we're up against.
I don't know who this guy is, for the record.
I mean, this is, everybody talks about
other than Republican.
Being a dadgum swamp. It's not a swamp. A swamp is something cool God created. It filters water. Animal life lives and flourishes around it. This is a sewer. This is created by man, and it needs to stop. We've, for years, Congress has been using hard-working American taxpayers' money to get rich. Dadgum, it's got to stop. America knows what the heck's going on. Everybody wants to knock Pelosi. Heck, she's not even in the top 10. Get on that Unusual Whales site. This is pathetic, folks. We all know what's going on. Congress knows what the hell's going on, and it needs to stop. This body has been enriching itself on the taxpayers' dime for too dadgum long, and it's got to stop.
Daggum.
This
He's pissed.
Is crooked and is crooked as a dog's leg. That's an old East Tennessee saying, but it's the truth, and it needs to stop. America knows what's going on. We're in committee meetings. We hear things before y'all do. We can make those
insider trading.
When you see a member of this body making 400, 500, 600 trades a year, you know something's wrong. Everybody ought to do like I do. I got my buddy Tommy Siler who invested in my mutual fund. I ended up having to cash it out because my daughter's going to school. I'm not a wealthy man. But look, this thing is broken, and it needs to be fixed. And this is the right avenue to do it. And I want to say something. I'm going to get these guys mad at me, but I really don't care because they can't vote in my district. This thing ain't going to pass. We're going to pass something in the House, and then guess what? The Senate will either, one, not take it up, or they'll come back in righteous indignation and say, oh, we need to make this stronger, something totally ridiculous, and they'll send it back to us. This is a scam that's being played on the American public, and it needs to stop. Let's quit with this nonsense. Let's give America a reason to trust Congress for once in our miserable lives. This is our chance to stand up and say, we hear what you're saying, America. We're going to fix this dadgum problem. But we probably won't do it. And I'll remain ticked off the rest of the day because of this. And it needs to stop. I want to thank all these folks, really. I joke around about it. You want to talk about something that, you know, we all working together? Dadgummit, this is the issue. This is the issue where Democrats and Republicans. Dadgummit, if I can stand up here with these two. Yeah, these two. I mean, you know, people back in East Tennessee are going, what in the heck
anyway,
you doing next to Proud Paul?
So he just finishes up. He just concludes right there. There is just a couple seconds left of that clip. Daggum, he is upset.
Daggum.
Okay? This man is upset. But yeah, he's specifically focusing on insider trading. However, this highlights the issue that we all know about. This isn't like old pigeons just making this incredible, having this incredible epiphany, or just we're finally figuring this out. We understand the corruption. We understand that money runs the game when it comes to government. Why are politicians coming into politics as regular people and then coming out as millionaires? That's not how the system is supposed to work. It's broken. This is why Mitch McConnell pushed a hemp ban into a spending bill. It is a sewer in there, and it needs to be addressed. It needs to be fixed. And this goes for American politics. This goes for Canadian politics, because if people were running for the people, this would not be happening. Those aren't servants of the people. Those are serpents for and eating the people. So, great to hear that being said. The only downside is the very end where he says nothing's going to happen. He's right. He's right. Because where does this have to go? It has to bypass all those people that have got 500-600 trades this year, making millions of dollars. No one's going to pass that bill. That'd be like asking the king to give up his crown just because. It's like, no, it's not going to happen. So I just feel as if, and my king, sorry, I guess let me rephrase that king comment, because I could get blown out of proportion. I was just referring to royalty, not any kind of president. No president is king, but let me just be honest, or be clear on what I'm saying there. No royalty king. No king's going to remove the crown. So I like to see that. I love to hear that that's happening, because that, to me, is not the distraction. That's a conversation that really addresses a core problem of politics: the corruption by money, and the insider trading portion of it is just it's just one portion of a very large aspect of how money is running things. But yeah, it's not about morals or ethics and about constituents. It's about money. So I just wanted to say that. But with any and all stories, of course, I've said 100 times, hit me up at Pigeons420 over on Instagram, over on Twitter, over on Twitch. I'm live all the time, so come and hang out. You won't be disappointed. I want to hear from you guys. Swank the Tank is sitting backstage, and let me tell you, that boy looks great. So without further ado, I would like to have a sit-down conversation with my good man Chris from Swank Genetics. So buckle in, get your bongs, roll your joints, start opening up your blunts, because it's time for a banger. Let's go.
Come on and lift your glass. You want your own free pass to be our guest. If you're stressed, it's fine dining we suggest. Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. As mentioned, we've got a banger today. We're talking to Chris from Swank Genetics. Chris, dude.
What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing wonderful, brother. Thank you for joining me, man. It's always a pleasure when I got a friend in the studio, dude.
No, I appreciate it, bro. Every time you hit me up, it's always just like, really? Let's do it.
Yes, and man, I've been seeing you everywhere, man. You've been doing quite a few different projects right now, man.
Trying.
Yeah.
Trying, bro. It's a lot harder to it's way harder to launch a seed company than I thought.
Dude, I think when you try to take any game to the next level, it's gonna present challenges that I think were unforeseen naturally, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
dude,
for sure.
Real quick, just want to give a little synopsis. You and I first came together at the High Rollers Jiu-Jitsu event in Vegas. It was like, what, 3 years ago now? 4 years ago?
I think it's
3?
4.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's 4.
Yeah, I think you're right, dude. That's insane, man. And naturally kicked it off between yourself, myself, Rob, and Chris from the stash. And the passion for cannabis was just second to none, man. It was easy to just sit and hash things out, dude. And man, It's just been a blessing ever since. And we've had the opportunity to sit down, break bread, have some hoots, and just shoot some shit. The hoots, dude. The hoots.
Every time you say that.
Dude, I think it's like I thought it was like a Canadian thing, saying hoots, dude. But then I heard that Americans say hoots too. Hoots are shared.
I think we talked about this last time. I had never heard of that. Full transparency. I had never heard of that until you said it. And then afterwards, I think a couple of my homies were like, dude, they say it in like Wisconsin and Minnesota and
of course
stuff like that. It's like, huh, all right, I've never heard it. But to me, you're the guy. You're where I heard it from first.
Well, I appreciate it, dude. Anytime we're having hoots together, it's a good time, man. We were actually just talking about that before this, and we were talking about taking dabs and ripping the bong. And what's your primary method of delivery? I know the answer to this, but
if I'm smoking flower, it's joints.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only way. But I would say probably 70% or better when I smoke, it's through taking dabs.
Yeah.
Primarily rosin.
Yeah, dude. I was saying too before we started, man. I can take a pretty large dab, pretty large hoot without an issue. But when you're serving up dabs, dude, it's like, dude, I was like out of it, man. Every time I'm like blowing out dragons, dude. Whoa. Yeah, had me sweating.
You take it like a champ, bro. You definitely take it like a champ. When I usually give people dabs like that, it's not that they're out, but they're out. They're usually like, I'm good. I don't need another one for several hours or maybe tomorrow or something,
Yeah.
You're at least like, you'll do it. And then if I offer you another one 15 or 20 minutes later, you're like, well, when in Rome, I guess.
Let's do it, baby. Yeah, let's do it, baby. Oh man. So you've been doing quite a few different projects lately, man. I watched you get the website up and running. Without
shout
I can't
out to Rob for that.
Yes, I know. For suppression reasons, we can't say it in the actual form, but it's Swank Genetics on the internet. And if you were to type that into a browser and add on the infamous internet conclusion
ending,
you'd be able to figure it out. But dude, shout out to Rob. Yeah, he did a lot of work on that, man. But you had a vision, dude. You had a vision for this, and you walk me through it, man. Genetics website, genetics for you. How did you come about with it?
Well, I mean, for me, that's why I named the company Swank Genetics. I've always wanted to be a genetics company, but nobody's going to buy genetics from a nobody, So it was basically just show and prove and let people know that we can do what we say we do, and we can do it day in and day out, year in and year out. And once we got past that point, I felt comfortable. I was like, all right, well, let's try to launch this thing. But I don't know anything. I'm not a tech savvy person. So the websites and all this stuff, I have a vision, but even now with the site being out, that would have never happened had Rob not been like, bro, I got you. Like, let's just, we're friends. Let me just help you as a friend. And he did, bro. I mean, I can't even thank him enough. So, but even with the site being out, it's still not the vision, because like as we're building it, I'm thinking I have everything to do it and execute it how it's in my head, and then it's like, oh no, like we never had Candid Kush take photos of certain genetics, but I've ran these genetics for several years and I've got seed projects with them. So like I'm last minute in a room with my iPhone chopping a bud, taking a picture, and I'm like, oh my God, I have like all these professional photos and then these like random few of just like iPhone photo. So like my OCD freaks out when I go to that website just because it's like professional. Why is there an iPhone photo here? And it's just it drives me nuts. But yeah, it's just it's been interesting, bro. But yeah, that's the natural evolution is I finally over the years your fan base and Rob's fan base and Chris's fan base and Goblin's fan base now, and everybody has been just insanely supportive to the point where had you guys specifically from the stash not pushed me to do this, I still wouldn't have a seed company right now. I would still be just in the dark talking about how someday. I mean, it was really honestly you three that gave me you three and your audience. After we did that first podcast, I mean, you remember I was so nervous to do that podcast and just take that leap of faith. And it's the greatest thing ever. Your audience has been incredible. Rob's audience, the From the Stash audience. It's insane the love that your audience has for me. And I can't thank them enough, because between you three and then your subsequent fan bases and followings being just so supportive, it's the only reason I'm doing what I'm doing right now. It really is.
Well, brother, on behalf of myself and my community, dude, thank you for the kind words. But more importantly, dude, you have a passion, you have a desire and a dream, and we can all dream. We've all met dreamers, but dude, there's people that just don't have a passion for this, for the plant.
Yeah.
And that's what's lacking. And that's what's needed. And more importantly, it's like a lot of people kind of snub the home grower. They think more so in regards to this is commercial. The home growers are far and few and far between, but there was a level of respect there that it was just undeniable, dude. And then in the same way that I talk to my community, they're incredible. They're incredible. And I know I can speak the same thing for Rob's community and Chris's community. And I'm not the most familiar with Goblin's community, and we'll dive into your work with Goblin too in a bit. But when people see passion, dude, I think they kind of get excited about it. And when I've tried your genetics, Rob's tried, Chris's, Goblin's tried, and we all vouch for him, dude. And like, I think that speaks for itself, brother.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, it's still, no matter how many people or whatever, I'll never not be humbled by the fact that that's just kind of the recurring theme when people get to interact with me in one way or another. It's awesome, man. It's everything that you dream. It's got to be the same for any entrepreneur in any aspect of whatever they're in love with. I don't care if you wanted to make rubber bands. I'll bet the dude that invented the rubber band was stoked the first time somebody wrapped something with it. It's like, and that never gets old.
Dude, that's got to be so true, dude. You got to think someone who spent that was like, dude, you put your money in there? I wasn't even thinking about that, dude. Yeah,
dude.
of course. It's something you're passionate about, right? Yeah.
When people show interest in your passion, I mean, that's something that unfortunately I just think a lot of people will never experience. I mean, even me, I've been an entrepreneur since I dropped out of high school, and I have failed and had people tell me, not this one, isn't going to work. Oh, maybe it's working. Nope, it didn't work. So to finally, like 20 years in of attempting to be my own boss, to have something that sticks, it's like, oh, this is what it feels like. That's crazy. Like,
Right. And you know what? When you got a good thing, you run with it. And when you're talking about having the iPhone and non-professional pictures, shout out to Candid Kush. He's doing his thing, and definitely has a talent for capturing a beautiful moment. However, lighting can go a long way. If you have a decent iPhone, you can get some decent photos, dude. But honestly, what I was going to say is, for like $1,000, dude, you should just grab yourself like a decent bodied camera, DSLR camera, and just have it so you know what I mean, that you just, because you can take these shots
so that I don't run into that moment again.
Yeah. Because photos, when you're trying to sell your genetics, photos are huge, dude. Photos are huge. I actually ran a story, dude. I'm not sure if you saw this. I ran a story about companies that are using other people's photos of different
That's so
genetics. Dude, I didn't realize. There's so many people doing that, bro. So many.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's actually, that's one of the things that Chris, Candid Kush, his name's Chris, that's one of the things that he battles, is that he puts out imagery, and then, yeah, I mean, the amount of people that'll use his images as if they're stock photos is crazy. It's insane, and he's found his images on several people's websites, so yeah, I could imagine that's frustrating, especially from him, somebody that's not just like a quote unquote photographer. He actually cares about what he does. He has the same passion that we have, just in his world. And so yeah, to see it stolen like that and not be credited for it, it's heartbreaking, bro.
Yeah, dude. It happens everywhere, man. And honestly, prepare for it to happen. It's gonna happen to you too. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Because it's just the inevitability of it all. I have there's a channel on YouTube that just takes my videos and reposts them. Doesn't do anything different. It just reposts them, slightly different titles. And
really? Okay, so how do you perceive that? Because I'll be honest, I mean, I'm not an influencer, but obviously now being friends with several of them, it's like, do you guys take offense to that, or do you look at it as a good thing because it gets you out there more? Because if I was an influencer, I would imagine that I would appreciate it to a certain degree if it gets more eyeballs on you.
Dude, you took the words right out of my mouth, brother. You could burn gears trying to slow it down and to make it so that, this doesn't happen. But the reality is it's gonna happen. And
so embrace it,
man. As long as the thing I don't like is when people are taking advantage of other people. So if they're using my likeness to like scam people out of money and stuff, and they're like, hey, send me a couple, I can't stand that, obviously. Right. And that's, in my humble opinion, that's inevitably what will happen with any channel that's trying to take the notoriety of another figure, Like, why are you doing this? Obviously you're going to be getting ad revenue, so it's collecting some kind of income, or you're going to try to pretend that you're me or whoever, and then try to
wait. So they can make ad revenue off of your videos?
Well,
isn't it similar to music, where like if you're playing music in the background, it demonetizes your channel? Wouldn't it be the same for you yourself if they post your video?
Yes, yeah, only on YouTube. So if like YouTube has algorithms or AI that'll detect copy or like copied content.
Stuff.
Yeah, copy content, not necessarily even copyright content, but like because none of my stuff is really copywritten, but yet it'll find other channels that are using clips of me in their channel. And I can go onto my dashboard on YouTube, and it says how many times my content's been used and where. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, there's that. But YouTube's the only one that does that. Instagram, TikTok, X, no other account, or a Twitter, whatever. No other platforms protecting anybody like that or giving anybody that notification. So, and that's not to say even someone's using it on their website, right? Like someone could take that information and just use it on their website as something to gain followers or money for something or other,
Right. The crazy world we live in, man.
It is a crazy world we live in, dude. That's, what, do you think social media has kind of like hurt cannabis culture with like influencers in particular, DIYs, hacks, teaching wrong information? No.
Well, yeah. I mean, sure, but that's such a complicated question to answer.
You have all the answers, Chris. You have all the answers, and I need them.
Definitely don't. I definitely don't. My opinion would be that by and large, I think that social media and the rise of the internet era has probably been a great thing overall, because without channels like yours and Rob's and Chris's and Goblin and Eric, and anybody that people wouldn't know, so I think that it's given exposure, and I think that it's two-faced or two-sided with that. It's a double-edged sword in the sense of that exposure is great, because I think by and large, because of the exposure, that's made it more difficult for the government to keep denying what the potential benefits of cannabis are. You know, I think that it's easy for the government to push propaganda like they did early on, before there was barely even television for that matter. You know, and it's easy for them to have big pharma say no, 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 and you know, whatever, just the whole thing that we all know it's been for, you know, 80 years or whatever it's been. So I think that it's more difficult now because there's so many people speaking up on in favor of, and success stories around the medical aspect, the recreational aspect even. So yeah, I think by and large it's a good thing, but like anything where there's good, you're going to find bad in it, and unfortunately there's always going to be bad actors. And I think that that's just unavoidable. Like you were saying, it's just unavoidable. How it's unavoidable for somebody to copy your video, it's unavoidable for somebody to not see an angle that they could potentially take advantage of, you know, or extort because of the notoriety to it. So I definitely think it's a gift and a curse, but I would say by and large it's more a gift than it is a curse, because I would bank that at least in the last 10 years, probably a lot of people, I have no idea how to put a percentage on it, but I would bank that a lot of home growers that are growing right now in any states that they're doing it in are by and large because of people like yourself. You know, it's not, if these channels didn't exist, home growers would still be terrified. They would still be hesitant. They would still worry about the legality. They would still worry about, you know, am I going to get robbed? People like you and Chris and Rob have normalized what for the last 80 years has been shoved down our throat as not normal, and we're the outcasts and bad, gateway this, horrible that, sickness that. So yeah, I think by and large it's a great thing.
Yeah. You know what? I don't disagree, dude. I don't disagree. I was gonna say the same thing along the lines of more people are probably growing now because of the proliferation of information. You just have more access to people growing, and so yeah. And it also too, if you'll like over the years, it's like we've been able to weed out all the bad ideas too.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
And all the myths, you know, like
Yeah.
I think FTS did a whole channel or a whole episode on, like, I don't know if you guys coined it, like the myths of the industry or something like that, but I remember you guys did a bunch of debunking on one of the episodes where you're just kind of going through things that people assume or whatever or have read, and it's cool because it is the truth. I mean, I would say that that's probably annoying because yeah, there's definitely a lot of misinformation on there, on the internet for growing, but is it yeah, again, I just think there's definitely more good information. I think the hardest part is just sifting it and figuring out how to sift it.
Totally agree, dude. Do you think, just another one, because we're talking about kind of like copyrights, and we're talking about people using other people's content, dude. What do you think about, like, when it comes to breeders and genetics? Do you think like breeders should get credit for genetics, kind of like
100%.
artists in the same way? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you know, if you know, when you if your audience stumbles onto the website somehow, I credit every single breeder, and not that I have heard anything bad, but let's just say, for example, something bad came out about a given breeder, and I had already found something amazing from that breeder, I'm still going to credit them. You know, yeah, because at the end of the day, that's one of the flaws with the industry, is that there are a lot of people that just want to step on toes, and they do not want to pay homage or give credit. It's one of my biggest gripes about this industry, is that, you know, a lot of the community has died, you know, and thankfully there's people like you and myself that are trying to keep it alive, but it's now a big business, and you know, so yeah, it's if a business doesn't have to give credit where credit's due because there's nothing to incentivize them for the honesty, and there's no disciplinary action as a result of them not, I mean, you're going to have that. You're going to have people being like, no, I created this. And it's like, well, no, you didn't, you know, but that's okay. You know, it's, again, those are the bad actors we speak about. I think by and large, I would hope that there are breeders out there that do pay homage and do give credit. And I would hope that there's people that pop those genetics that are proud to say they came from Swank or whoever. But, you know, that's, yeah, well, only time will tell that, I guess. You know?
It will, dude. And it's inevitable, brother. It's inevitable, man. Because, dude, you got great stuff, dude. You got good shit, brother. And that's what you know. That's what sparked the collaboration between FTS and Swank. And those genetics, dude, those genetics are going to be releasing in like the next like few weeks, dude.
Yeah.
And I am so
I can't wait.
stoked about that.
I can't wait to see the packaging you guys did in person.
Oh,
like, what Rob was showing me, I'm just like, bro, that's
dude,
fire.
yeah. See, Rob likes to give me the credit as being the creative one of the three of us, but dude, the creativity of that man and his abilities are just incredible, dude. He's a fucking genius, brother. He's a genius, especially when it comes to like technology, marketing, and design. And dude, oh yeah, dude, he's a great guy. He's very smart and very talented.
Yeah, extremely.
And I can't.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything.
I'm very fortunate to he's the one that's taken the charge on those triangles, man, because you have seen the dude, and of course we don't do it like first of all, if we're gonna team up with Swank, dude, nothing is half-assed. Everything has to look fucking beautiful. I still say to this day that you've got some of the best packaging in the game, as Mrs. P's over there nodding her head like,
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you guys.
And so, yeah, there was a level of expectation that not a level of expectation. There was a level of sex appeal that had to be applied to the creation. And yeah, Rob nailed it. Of course, he took the reins on that, and he gave us a few ideas. We hemmed and hawed on like tiny things, but yeah, he nailed it. And I'm stoked for it, dude. I'm stoked for it.
Yeah, it got there. It got there really quick too.
Yeah,
I was super happy with how that came out.
Yeah. Last time I was at your place, dude, I was smelling some shit that was like blueberry to the core, brother. Like,
yeah, the papaya cooler number 2.
Oh, dude. People often say like, you know, oh, is that blueberry weed? I never, until your place, was like, that is blueberry weed. I've had weed that's got like a blue-esque look to it, where it's like it's been called blueberry, but I'm not sure it has any real blueberry kind of lineage to it. But no word of a lie, when I put my hand, that in mint, dude, the mint too, dude. Okay, but anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. The blueberry, man, it was like literally taking a fresh handful of blueberries and just it was so good, dude. It was so good. And I'm sure, is that harvested? Probably.
Yeah.
That was months ago, I think.
That one's that's tough, man, because that one ended up being like, that's gonna only be bred with, unfortunately. It yielded extremely bad.
The what did? The yield?
Sorry. Come here,
No,
Tito.
that's okay. It's a dog's life, dude. It's a dog's life. It's amazing because the bark didn't actually come through that well. It just cut out your voice. I was like, what happened? What happened?
Oh, okay.
No, it was good. It was good. Go ahead.
But yeah, so it yielded very bad, like very, very bad. Yeah, insanely bad. So, but it has beautiful structure. It's a beautiful flower. It's just and it's not that it's about the yield, but to a certain point, I have to account for the yield.
Of course, dude.
Because, dude, I mean, it did less than an ounce off of the one plant when it was dried, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't do that. So. And then we grew it one more time after that, and same thing. It get a little more. It's just a very slow vegging strain, and so, you know, usually we'll veg for, in total, roughly about 2 months from the time we take the clone. They'll be in the clone stage for like 3 weeks. Then we'll transplant them to blocks for like 3 weeks, and then they'll go into pots for like 4 weeks, and then we'll flip them to flower. And with that one, we kept it in pots for 2 months and then flipped it to flower. We gave it an entire extra month of vegging, and still it gave a little more than it did the first time, but it's a very slow veg. It really wants to take a long time in veg, and we can't, you know. And not only we can, I mean, I know that a home grower isn't going to want to do that either, you know, and obviously a facility isn't going to want to do that. So all the way around, that's just unfortunately going to be something that I'm breeding. So I've had that for Candid Kush is actually who gave me those seeds from Barcelona. And he gave them to me from a company that bred them. It's an Italian company, but they are based in Barcelona, and they go by the Grateful Seeds. And so Candid Kush I believe he did a shoot for them or some of their friends, and they happened to be there. I don't really know how it played out, but he ended up bringing me some seeds back, and those are what I popped. And I ended up getting 2 phenos out of it that were just awesome. But one's awesome for the smell, which is the one you're referring to, and then the other one's just great. It actually yields well. It looks beautiful. It smokes great. It's incredible. So that one, but I've had them now for like a little over 2 years. So we've been doing breeding projects pretty much nonstop with them. So I have 4 different breeding projects that I've done with that blueberry smelling papaya cooler. So those seeds are ready. They're beautiful. It takes pollen incredibly, bro. And so, yeah, the plan now is to start popping those seeds, and trying to find that blueberry nose in something that'll actually give us some production too.
Dude. Yeah, that's epic, dude. And yeah, you're laughing, you're giggling there because my microphone just about fell over there as I'm trying to have it rip. Mrs. P's a little bit fogged up. Yeah, no, it was epic seeing those, dude. It was epic taking that all in, and I'm glad to hear that you're going to still be able to retain it for something, because I obviously your yield isn't the most important thing, but at some point, it has to be taken into consideration, dude, because you can't do this for nothing. At the end of the day, there is a reward at the end of this, and if it doesn't have one, then the work isn't worth it. Walk me through, because I know you're focused on a few different aspects of taking these through harvest. You're focused on a few different end results for the product. Walk me through what you're looking for when you're looking for like the perfect genetic.
You answer questions in a way where it's like, okay, that's a complex question. I guess broadly speaking, I don't ever know what I'm looking for when I initially pop the seeds, unless it's something we cross. Like obviously, if I cross something, the Bundy, for example. Hold on one sec.
Please take your time.
I can't just see you take a ball rip and then not hit something.
And the thing is, I've got to time it too, so like while you're talking, so that I can hit it, and so there isn't just dead space, dude. Honestly, it's just like it's from the biz, dude. Rob and I are so similar in that Chris can't say anything because Rob and I will not allow there to be dead space and dead airspace, and so Chris will just take a half second thinking we're not done talking, and that half second he takes is long enough for one of us to jump in and grab that airtime. So yeah. Anyways, sorry. Back to what you're saying.
By the way, Ghost 2, incredible. This thing.
Ghost 2. Who Ghost 2? Is that Dr. Dabber?
Oh yeah, Dr. Dabber. This thing, they just dropped this last week. This thing, game changer.
That is
bro.
tiny.
This is, and it has all the technology of their Switch 2. With like the descent modes and stuff. So the cool thing with this is that it actually, when you hit, it decreases in temperature as you're hitting to more emulate like a real rig, like a torch in a rig, and how it would naturally just cool down once you put the dab in. So this does that same thing. So it has ascent mode too, where you can actually ramp it up in temperature, but then you just lose all the taste and stuff. But yeah, it's really cool. Awesome device. We can talk more about that later, but super sick device, bro. And super sick device.
Dude. We'll dive into that.
To your question.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. I don't know. Like if it's something, let's take the Bundy for example. The Bundy has a whole lot of stretch in it. And so that's something that's very inconvenient. Same with something like the GMO has a lot of stretch in it. Our papaya runs has a lot of stretch in it, right? The Bundy by far supersedes everything and anything I've ever grown as far as stretch, to the point where people literally don't believe me when I tell them the stretch. So that's something I'm trying to work out of it. So if it's something like the Bundy, where I've taken a male that has traits that I like, and I've bred it, and then I'm popping those seeds, yes, my intention is, with that particular genetic as an example, to try to pop the seeds and find a pheno that has all of the benefits of the Bundy without the stretch. And then ideally maybe to shorten down the flowering time, because it takes 14 weeks minimum. You can push it as far as honestly 15, 16 weeks if you really wanted to. And so like it's inconvenient. It's inconvenient to have a strain that wants to go 14, 15 weeks and wants to stretch to be, well past 10 feet tall, and it's just, okay, so let me try to cross it. And when I hunt stuff like that, if I know the genetic and I know that I'm hunting it for a specific reason, then that would be my goal. My goal would be to try to find the phenos that have everything about that specific genetic that I love, and hopefully get the traits of the male that will just correct a couple of things I don't love. And sometimes that won't happen on the first round, you know. Maybe I have to breed it again, or maybe I find something that's close or whatever. It can be a process, or you can luck out and get it on the first try with the F1s, but usually it's going to take some time to really breed out certain traits, especially if you're trying to shorten flower times. But it's doable. And then when it's stuff that I don't know what it is and I'm just popping seeds for the first time, I go into it completely open-minded. I don't care if I like what the parents are. I don't care if I'm a fan of the breeder. I go into it as if it's nothing until it's something. You know, and I feel like that's the best way because it keeps an open mind. You know, if I go in, if I get seeds for conversation's sake, let's take the GMO. If I find, you know, the original like the guys that bred the GMO, um and I get some seeds from them of a cross they created with the GMO. I'm not going into that being like, I want GMO. I'm going into that being like, I hope that when I pop these seeds, I find something totally unique. Like, I would love the yield of GMO, but we all know that it grows like shit. Foxtails, looks ugly, the buds are undesirable, right? And we know that it stretches, and we know that it takes a long time to flower. We know that the only thing we love about it is the high and that smell. It's undeniable, and the yield's insane, right? So it's like, but I don't want that smell. I would love to find that yield of that GMO, but I'm hoping I smell something that I've never smelled before, especially something that these two genetics, how did they make that smell? You know, like why with this super gassy thing and this super whatever thing over here on the male side, how did we get to this weird, you know, I'll make something up, syrup smell or something like that. It's like, how do we get there with two funky things? And that's the beauty of it. So yeah, when it's stuff I know, I do it with intent and I'm going into it with a specific reason. When it's stuff I have no idea, I'm literally telling myself, I don't really care what the results are. I don't care about anything other until we're starting to look at some plants and smell some smells, you know, and then it gets exciting.
Dude, I like that, dude. I got a question because as you were talking about this, like you've bred, I haven't bred anything. I was gonna say you've bred way more than me. I've never bred, so it's so. I have this theory that the later the genetic flowers, or sorry, the longer the genetic flowers, the the cannabinoid profiles are considerably different. And I feel as if because we've been chasing shorter flower times and THC, both of those in conjunction have led to like cannabinoid kind of limiting, where it's like if you're just searching THC, we know that THC comes after CBN, which comes before CBD and some or CB whatever. It's a degradation of the trichome. So if we're only going for THC, then where are the other cannabinoids going? And do you think we compromise? So there's kind of two questions. First question is, do you think longer flower times lead to maybe more variables or kind of a more expressive cannabinoid profile? And do you think hunting for THC only compromises other cannabinoids?
So I'll answer your second question first. I definitely think that putting the focus on THCA or THC is pointless. It's literally, it's only the euphoric aspect of the plant. And I know people will go, well, yeah, that's what we're after, the euphoria. It's like, well, people don't realize that what they're after is more than the euphoria. You know, that's why when people will smoke distillate, you know, like go get some distillates, there's some pure 99 distillate and dab it or whatever. It's a very bland high. And it's because that euphoric feeling is not really coming from the THC. It's coming from the entourage effect of all the other compounds that given plant has to offer, right? So as you start removing those compounds, you start getting to a very tasteless high. And I mean that literally and figuratively, more figuratively in the sense of the things that make you hungry or sleepy or giggly or anxious or excited or sad or whatever, all the emotions that you can potentially have from flower, good, bad, or other, right? Those things are derived from the entourage effect and all of the compounds and all of those cannabinoids coming together and doing something, right? And so yeah, I'm I'm not a fan of refinement to the point where you isolate or you grow for a specific compound. Um, is it good or bad? It's whatever. Like if your goal is to produce CBD at scale so you can make tinctures for people that have, epilepsy or seizures or stuff like that, yeah, then okay, cool. Let's go find genetics that produce very high CBD, very like I think that there's case uses for needing to emphasize a specific compound for a specific reason. But outside of, in my opinion, medical reasons, for the purpose of getting your sales higher if you're a legal dispensary and everything is based around THC numbers for you to drive customers in the door, yeah, it's pathetic and it's stupid and it's a complete injustice to people that want to smoke, not for medical purposes but for recreational purposes. You're doing these people a complete injustice because you're convincing an entire generation of smokers that it's all about THC and that's what matters. So yeah, I would say yes to the second question first. Yeah, I think it's a complete injustice and it's pointless and it's definitely a negative thing to do, but it's where the market is, unfortunately, because of all the misinformation and miseducation. And then I apologize. What was your first question again?
No, to your point, first of all, is that like I often find people are telling me that like, people that don't try cannabis often, they either say they did it in the past or they only very, very seldom do it. And then they say, yeah, I just get in my head, I get paranoid, right. Or and I specifically believe that that's because of the chase for THC, which is one of the most, or at least in my limited knowledge, one of the most impactful euphoric cannabinoids. And it's like, well, it only makes sense then that over the years that focusing on THC, the new people are people that aren't fully exposed to at least the levels that you and I are. Their bodies aren't ready for that abundance of THC. Yeah. And so they find themselves getting paranoid or, just kind of in their head. And it's like, I feel like that's because all the weed out there is just high THC weed, legal weed.
Yeah, I would say to a certain extent, sure. But, there is definitely something to be said about cannabinoids and what they can do to heighten paranoia. And I don't personally know. I've never took the time to get into the science of specific cannabinoids.
Dr. Swank.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah. But I would say that, I've had homies of mine get paranoid smoking on something that's less than 20% total cannabinoids. Like right now the standard for the legal market is you want to break 30% on THC. And if it's not 30%, then you're not getting paid for your flower, anything worth being a cultivation center, and it's like, that's crazy to me because most of the best tree I've ever smoked has been more in the, I would say mid to low 20s, even into the teens. And so that's proof positive that it's not about the THC. It's about everything else. And when you look at labs from good quality flower, obviously not anything that's under 20%, but when you, for example, would smoke something and then if you get labs and see that it's under 20%, okay, cool. But then when you look at the breakdown of the compounds, a lot of the times you're going to have a broader spectrum of cannabinoids that have a high enough, that are in that flower at a high enough ratio where it shows up on a lab. And so, yeah, I think there's something to be said where maybe the paranoia comes from the THC and the high levels of it, but equally I would say that I've seen plenty of people get paranoid from really bad flower. So I don't know that I disagree with you, but I definitely think there's something to be said about the entourage effect, and maybe there is a certain blend of cannabinoids that will inherently trigger or touch on whatever part of your brain creates that paranoia effect, you know what I mean? More than just the THC. But I honestly don't know. I mean, that's a complete guess.
I don't know either, dude. And you know what? A lot of the time I hear it from people that have had an unknown or unregulated source. So it's from someone that could have been getting it from a an infected outdoor crop from maybe nearby pesticides from the farmers or whatever. So it's like whether it's a THC or whether it's just kind of the mainstream availability of legal weed, I have no idea. Because I would argue that it could be the exposure to mold or pesticides or something like that could be doing it too.
Sure, those things.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
100%.
I'm not trying to I'm not putting any blame on our beautiful plant here. I just want to get to the bottom of what your experience has led you to believe or led you to kind of understand.
I mean, I'll even use me as a use case. A few years ago, I did like a 2-month tolerance break, and I actually liked it. It was kind of nice a few weeks in, but then I started having some pretty crazy dreams, and I was just like, yeah, no. And then I started reading into that and how THC. I don't know if it's specifically THC, but how cannabis can suppress dream state, because it does something with certain, whatever. I don't know how you sensors in your mind or whatever, and it blocks certain things. So I was like, okay, well, I don't really want to be doing these crazy dreams right now. And they were intense. And then I read this study. I don't know if it's fact or fiction, but at the time where I was having the crazy dreams, I started going down a rabbit hole. And I read this study from this guy, can't remember. But anyways, long story short, he said in the study that he found that your mind never really stops dreaming, even when you're not conscious of the dreams happening, right? And like my girlfriend could attest to that. She'd sleep next to me and I'd wake up and I'd be like, in my head, I'm like, I didn't have any dreams. And then she'd be like, what are you talking about? You were talking all night long in your dream. I'm like, what are you talking about? And so in this study, it went on to say that even if you're suppressing them, the dreams are still happening and they're being stored. And so when you stop smoking for an extended period of time, your body and your mind will try to catch you up on those dreams. And like I was having these dreams where I would have a dream, wake up from an intense dream, and then fall back asleep, and it would literally pick up where it left off. And I'd wake up and I'd be like, why? And so I started smoking as a result of that again. But to circle back around to why I bring that up, the first time I smoked after like maybe a little over 2 months, I got super paranoid, like really, really paranoid. I remember sitting on my couch. It was just me. I rolled a joint, and I even knew not to smoke the whole joint. I'm like, all right, I'll just smoke like half the joint. And I smoked half the joint. I'm sitting on the couch and I just start running through a bunch of shit in my head. And like, why'd you do this? And what about that? Well, what if this is that? What about that? And dude, I just started, and I'm like, even me, some of this has been smoking my entire adult life, and that's why I say I don't necessarily think it's sure, for sure, 100% pesticides, molds, those things will definitely do something to you if you smoke them and ingest them. But I just think by and large, maybe it's something to do with, we all have an endocrine system. We all have, CB1 and CB2 receptors. We are meant to take in cannabis. We've proven that from an anatomy of our body standpoint, right? But maybe it's a slow introduction to that. Because how can somebody like myself that 2 months prior was smoking in an excessive amount daily, right, go from that to hitting half of a 1 gram joint and being totally uncomfortable for 45 minutes? And it's like, I think there's something to be said about that. And maybe it's that, just like with medications, and I hate to use an analogy tied to the pharmaceutical industry, but look at how they treat medications. A doctor doesn't just put you on, again, I really hate to use this reference. I don't have anything else good for it. But a doctor doesn't put you on a heavy dose of an opiate right away when they put you on opiates. They start you with like a little whatever the smallest amount, a milligram, 2 milligrams, and then it works up to a 5 and a 10 and a whatever, and however that happens, right? And it's just like, I feel like maybe there's something to be said. Maybe there is a rationale to the logic that the pharmaceutical industry uses with introducing drugs to you, where maybe in that sense only, you just naturally have to build up an understanding. Your body has to start receiving compounds and hitting your CB1 and CB2 receptors, and your body has to start understanding that, especially if you're a new smoker. So maybe there's something to be said to that, where it has to do with the relationship and the anatomy of our bodies and how we take it in when we've never taken it in before.
But I think you're onto something. Yeah, I totally think you're onto something. And I thinking about it happening to people that have consumed small doses but still got paranoid. Yeah, I think that he says something to whether or not it is just THC. So, yeah, That's cool. I think I think we're onto something here, man. And I would be very curious what the science would say to prove or disprove our theories, because there just simply isn't enough science to prove one way or the other, right? This is why we guess.
Dude, I would love to sit down and talk with, I've never had any conversations with real botanists or real horticulturalists or like real PhDs on anything like this, you know? So I'm not a botanist. I'm not a horticulturalist. I'm not a PhD. I'm not even, I'm a high school dropout, bro.
You're a broticulturalist. Okay. Let's be very honest.
Yeah. Yeah. But I say that to say, like, I would be curious to know in a real one-on-one conversation with somebody that's knowledgeable, really knowledgeable, how much of what I've grown to associate and correlate is incorrect or correct, you know? Because like, I'm not perfect. I'll guarantee you there's things that I say that might be misinformation, and it's not intentional. I'm not any of those things. So when I do shit, I'm just making correlations based off of my own personal life experiences with the plant, you know? So it would be interesting. I think I would like to think that I am knowledgeable, broadly speaking, but I also think it's a lifelong journey, and there's things that I find out literally every day. Every day I see something or feel something or hear something or read something where I'm like, oh, that's crazy, you know, let me try that. And then we do, and it's like, well, why haven't I been doing that the whole time, you know? And it's like, what, you know? And that's all the time, man. So yeah, that'd be interesting. Maybe someday, like, you guys can somehow figure out how to get like a real PhD.
I was literally just thinking this. What if I could find somebody who's both, it wouldn't be hard, that's smarter than both of us in this subject. And dude, what if I could facilitate you and I having an interview with somebody like that, dude? You're the breeder.
I'd give anything.
I've got the platform, and we'll bring someone smart on. That dude, I would be epic, bro.
I would give anything to do that, bro.
We're gonna make it
those
happen.
guys never want to give me any piece of. They don't want to give me time. It's like, well, who the fuck are you? And it's like, fair. I'm not you. That's for sure. You know. But
well, we'll find one that's not an asshole, and we will definitely sit down, dude. I know, like, we've sat down with so many people in regards to in regards to From the Stash, that, you know, and I know Chris has sat down, Mr. Growit, with a ton of doctors and you know, real scientists. And I know a couple in my pocket, in the back of my head, that I'm thinking of that could really break down the cannabinoids, and
that's what I
go ahead.
For me, it wouldn't. Sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
I would more like to have the conversation with somebody that understands cannabinoids and the plant, but more importantly, understands the human anatomy, the endocrine system, and the CB1 and CB2 receptors, and how they interact with our body, and what they're doing, and what neurons are firing, and where it's going. That's the conversation I would like to have, to either debunk or validate what I think, you know?
Totally agree. Sorry, excuse me, I was sneezing. That's what I want to look into, and then someone who's not afraid to explore the philosophical side of it, of like, what about this, you know? And yeah, we can totally find somebody, and I know somebody's listening to this right now being like, I know somebody who would do this wonderfully, and that's the person. Hook us up, give me a call, let me know. Yeah, dude, I'm all over it. So the second question that I asked was, do you think we could apply almost the same rationale to a longer flowering time? Because in your experience, do you think that, sorry, I should have thought about this before I said it. I'm scattered, but because I'm thinking more of it as I go. When I harvest early, I know that I've lost out on good THC. Mature cannabinoids, some mature cannabinoids. If I harvested, say, 7-8 weeks, right? If I let it go 9, 10, 11 weeks, well, now all of a sudden I've got a larger, or at least maybe a more preferred level of mature cannabinoids, something that's going to be consumable. People argue, and the longer that you let it flower, there's a degradation that happens of THC in particular that now gives you a different effect. So my question is, do you think, because we're always pushing for shorter flower times, look at auto flowers, for example, but it's like, if you had something that flowered longer, do you think that there's either A, a more expressive cannabinoid makeup, or B, just a different cannabinoid makeup?
So, okay, I would answer that. I think there'd be a different expressive cannabinoid makeup. I don't think that it would be better or worse or more defined or less defined. I just think that it would be different. And the reason I say that is because, again, this is where I'd love to have a real somebody that really understands the plant and the origins of it. From my understanding of self teaching and just self researching, which I am by no means a real researcher, the sativa indica thing, right? That has to do with the relation to where the plants are geographically on the planet, right? And so places that have longer summers and shorter winters, the plants have over thousands or hundreds of thousands of years, they have basically modified themselves to be able to flower for that entire summer period, right? And vice versa in places that have shorter summers and longer winters, those plants had to adapt to that so they wouldn't get froze out. So they'd have to finish in 7 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks, depending on where they are in relation to, I believe the equator is like kind of how they gauge that, like how far or near something is to the equator. Again, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that's how they gauge that, right? And so like those longer flowering times only have to do with the fact that the plant had to basically modify itself and adapt over a set amount of time to be able to not finish before the season was finished, right? And vice versa, finish before the winter season started in shorter flowering times with indicas. So by that logic, I would think that it's not going to be better or worse. It's just going to be different. And I would venture to say that there's probably compounds that are going to be seen in those true sativa land races where they have real sativa, like 16, 17, 18-week flowering cycles, right? Where it's like, there's probably going to be different compounds that you would find and cannabinoids you would find, probably even different flavonoids and terpenes as well, that are going to be inherent of those land races in that place. So do I think that we're losing something per se by having shorter flowering times? No. But do I think that there's something else to possibly be desired or something else we don't know about? Because there's really nobody in America that's smoking true sativas, because there's no cultivations that are going to only have 2 fucking harvests a year because they're waiting on a 18-week flowering cycle. No, bro. Like facilities are going to pump out 7, 8, and 9-week strains, period. And even underground growers are going to pump out 7, 8, and 9-week strains, period, because it's about the dollar, so we have to respect the reality of the culture and where we're at right now. And it comes down to money. On the legal side, it's because they've taken millions of dollars and they can't pay them back. And on the underground side, it's because they want to make money. So it's like, yeah, I think that, is there something else to be desired? Yes. But is it that it doesn't mean that indica leaning genetics based on flowering times are lacking in something? I don't think so, personally, because I mean, you've smelled it. You smelled fruity stuff for me. You smelled earthy, you smelled gassy, you smelled piney, you smelled syrupy, you smelled citrus. So you've smelled all the smells that would be indicative of sativa leaning or indica leaning plants, yet all of them, for the most part, with the exception of the Bundy and the GMO, are very much so indica leaning plants. They finish in 7 or 8 weeks. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're missing something, but do I think that there's definitely something that we're not getting in those indica plants just because that's how nature intended it? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. Has to be. My curiosity would be then, okay, well then if you were to look at a map and we were to pinpoint terpenes and cannabinoids, we know where the Afghans come from, we know where the Hindus come from, we know where the Maui Wowies come from. If we were to pinpoint on a map terpene profile and cannabinoid profile, do you think, based on what you just said, based on the equator, do you think you would see a cluster of particular terpenes, like skunk, for example, coming more from the southern hemisphere? Yeah, or something like that, Yeah.
Yep.
More in
100%.
Regions.
I mean, I'm not saying it's 100% fact. I'm saying 100%. That's what I would bet my dollar on.
Yeah, me too. Yep, me too. So then the same thing would be said then if we were to pinpoint on that same map flowering time and say, okay, 18 weeks going to be something in the Middle East, something in because it can, right? Because it's got summer forever. And whereas you've got something that's much quicker because it has to be grown. I'm not familiar of a good example of something fast from like the northern region, like a North American region, but in the north.
Yeah.
So, but point,
that's stepping outside of my wheelhouse too.
Yeah, I'm not certain. This again, where a good professional will be like, oh, it's a, you know, I don't even know
this region.
Yeah. But anyways, it's like if you were to take flowering times and then say, okay, then with those flowering times, you're going to see cannabinoid profiles probably line up with that then too, right? Certain ones that are longer, certain genetics that are longer in flowering are going to have those skunk and or longer flowering times, particular terpenes from the east, and shorter flower times, different terpenes, different cannabinoids from the west.
Yeah. I mean, I would 100% assume that. And again, it's all assumption, but it just, you know, but also here's the other thing. Like, though I would assume that, because to me, it's logical to think that based on the conversation we just had. Again, you've came to my garden, you've smelled 20 different smells from all genetics that finish in under 9 weeks. So it's like, to that point, well, maybe not too.
So we know,
because
we know terpene profile is one thing.
Yeah.
I'd be curious then about cannabinoid profile.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're probably right. Because I think you're onto something.
It has to be.
There has to be
a different cannabinoid profile too, because I mean, you've smoked. We did it on air, 16 or whatever genetics. So it's like, and all of those. I mean, yeah, we were probably pretty stupid halfway through, anyways. But all of those kept giving different feelings as we smoked through them. So it's like that's going to be all down to the compounds of the cannabinoids, you know. And so it's like, yeah, I would say, yeah. That's such a complex question, bro. But yeah, I would say potentially my logic would dictate, and I would bet on the fact that if we did it by region, you would, in a large enough population or sample size, we'd probably see an overlap of a high percentage of the compounds, cannabinoids and terpenes, and probably flavonoids for that matter. But then also it's like I can show you 20 plus genetics that all finish in what would be considered a shorter flowering time, and within that region that all have different profiles and all have different effects too. So it's like, maybe not, or maybe that's because of all of the breeding that's been happening for the last 20 years, and the inbreeding and the rebreeding and the trying to sterilize certain lines, or not sterilize, stabilize certain lines, and bring out certain trait. Like, maybe we've just completely fucked everything up, you know, as a whole, and created all of this mess, where if we could dig back far enough to true land races in given regions, like, maybe that would be how I'd frame that answer. If we're talking land races in a given region, if we break it down like that, I would bet my bottom dollar that we would see a significant overlap between land races in a given region. But if we're talking about just where the state of genetics are today as a whole, you know, like, no, I think I could just show you 20 where it would discredit what I just said in the previous sentence. So I don't know.
I don't know. It's a good journey to take, brother. That's why I like talking about it, because it's like, I like how you said if we could go back, because I feel like it's almost been like the death of pheno hunting, because people are just hustling for short flower times, high THC, and it literally just leaves nothing left for trying to push limits, push things harder. It's like we're just getting recycled copies of the same damn thing, turnkey genetics almost, you know what I mean, where it's like you're gonna get this, and it's just gonna be a cardboard cookie cutout of this, but you said, which I think is interesting, but if you go back and then, you know, don't use anything of today, and like you could probably find a lot of those like locked up gems of cannabinoid profiles.
Oh, there's people out here that have them, bro.
Oh, 100%.
You have cats like the strain hunters, you know, like those dudes have been hunting
Todd
genetics
McCormick
for 20 plus years. Yeah. So
100%.
like, I guarantee you the seeds are out there. I mean, I can even speak to me. I have one true land race, and it's from Thailand. And shout out again to Chris, Candid Kush. When he was in Thailand doing some shooting, he was shooting with a university, I believe. and he was dealing with a couple of PhDs and some botanists and horticulturalists, and basically, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the university was doing preservation on land races, cannabis land races, that were native to Thailand. And so he actually brought me back a decent amount of the seeds from two of those different land races that were given to him by a university from a doctor. So they are as legit can come. And I was so stoked because I've never had the opportunity to truly deal with real land races. But my initial thought, and God, I would love to have a real somebody that could to tell me if I'm right or wrong with this, right? But I was excited for them because what does Thailand have a lot of? Humidity, right? So over thousands of years, what would genetics naturally have to build an immunity to? Mold. So my initial thought was, holy shit, I have real true land races that have never been touched by human hands or altered in any way that are hopefully going to have a natural, very high resilience to mold. And now I can take one of those land races, pop those seeds, find a male specifically, right? And then hit my entire lineage with those, right? And then that starts a probably 5-year journey, obviously, because I have to pop those seeds and start doing high humidity rooms and seeing if we where that threshold is and is it truly higher, and a lot of A and B. I mean, it's years of work, but that's where my next project is, honestly, is because I finally through Chris was able to actually get land races. And it's like, dude, and it's from Thailand where it's like 95% humidity all year round. And it's like, dude, if these aren't molding naturally, like how do we get that into our genetics? And if I'm not mistaken, that's the how, bro. It's just time and breeding and really trying to get those characteristics in. But like, yeah, the evolution of like land races are where it's at, bro. To circle back to that, it's like land races are definitely the thing that I feel like if we could get back to that, if there were people willing to entrust land races with people that aren't going to just do the wrong things with them, and it's not to say that I necessarily know what the right things are, but I feel like my ideology with how I want to treat those Thailand races, I think that's what we can do. We can bring back certain things and restabilize some of these lines and try to get out some of the I don't know, the imperfections that are in them, or I don't even know if that's the right word. It's so complicated. I don't know what the right word is for that, but yeah, the land races are, I would give anything
to
to get
get
my
the
hand on
most
real.
just to get the most desired outcome. That's all, really.
Yeah.
Not necessarily get rid of
Yeah.
anything, to get the most out, take the most out of it. What do you think about
Yeah.
what do you think about keeping like certain land races or legacy genetics protected from the people, from commercialization? Do you think that
We do it with trees.
we do
it right now.
with seed? There's a seed vault that exists, like the one in Norway, that keeps genetics safe and protected.
Yep.
Do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, for natural
Yeah.
disasters.
100%.
Yeah. What do you think about
Yeah, but
breeders doing that? What do you think about breeders keeping genetics?
I think it'd be incredible, but I think the only way to really truly do that would be to put them in vitro, using tissue culture, because then for sure it'll be completely sterile, assuming that you're getting starting genetics that are sterile. But even if you're not, you could use tissue culture to work them back to full sterile, you know. But anyways, I think, yeah, I think that'd be incredible. But then it just comes down to um who has the key to that vault, and
Right.
that's where it's tough, bro, because going back to people getting stepped on, there are OGs, especially, like, and I'm not one, the OGs, the people that I looked up to in the game, they're bitter, a lot of them. And there's a lot of mistrust, and there's a lot of just hatred from the OGs because a lot of them didn't get credit. And sure, to a certain extent, probably a lot of them didn't want credit because it was a different era. But, to the ones that did, a lot of them didn't. So, and then, dude, I mean, even if it's not from the credit, just think of what the OGs had to go through. Dudes getting raided, and all these legacy genetics are gone, not even through any fault of their own, just through raids and through the government, and that's a whole other conversation. So it's like, between not wanting to be out there like that because of the era that the real OGs did it in, coupled with the raids and losing genetics to just stuff outside of their control, it's like, yeah, it's who holds that key, and how do we entrust that person, and what are going to be the safety precautions for that, and what are going to be the mechanisms put in place where if anything happens to said person or said company. And then if we do make it a company, how do we make sure that it's not for profit, not like it's a nonprofit, but that the goal of the company isn't to make money, but it's to store history and keep that, there's so much to it. I think it could be done 100%. You would just, who determines that? Who's the meeting of the minds? Who sets the round table? And who sits at it? You know?
It's a valid point. It's a valid point, because with power comes corruption, right, dude? And it's like
absolute power corrupts absolutely, bro. That's one of my favorite sayings.
It's true. Yeah, it's so true. I think it was Oprah Winfrey that said that. Maybe it wasn't. I'm not really sure.
Definitely wasn't. I can't with you, bro.
Yeah,
you're the man, dog.
Oh, you're
Shout
242.
Oprah.
This is, hey, what a great opportunity to take a rip, dude. We could do it at the same time, brother. We could do it at the same time.
We can do that. I was gonna give you the courtesy of saying you can go first.
That's funny. Yeah, no, that's good.
That way, there's no dead space, bro.
Go.
No dead space.
Well, tell me about what you got there, because, dude, I use the Mighty by Stores and Bickle, and it's a flower vape, dry flower vape. So I haven't actually done the concentrate one, but immediately I'm really excited about the size of that one. It's so little and so compact.
Yeah.
And to be fully transparent, you are now actually, which congratulations, you are working with Dr. Dabber. Is that correct?
Yeah, man. Yes. Yeah. I mean, we're
fucking A.
We're trying to incorporate and come together each other's products wherever we can. So we're doing like this year we did Berlin together at Mary Jane Berlin. We teamed up and did a collaborative booth there, and those guys have just shown me the absolute most amount of love of, I would say, any company in this community, and then that's turned into a true friendship and with everybody there. Like Jamie, the founder, became one of my really good friends, and Daniel is awesome, and Dane is awesome. I mean, and Matt, which is, he's no longer with them, but Matt's the dude that introduced me to that whole circle. And Matt is awesome, bro. Like, these are people that I now consider like very close to me, like very, very close to me. So yeah, it's been very organic. It wasn't like we sat down like, all right, we're partnering. It's not that. It's more just, how can I help you and how can you help me? And not in the sense of like asking for it. We're just organically building together. And so like we did a dinner a few months back, and that was insanely successful. It sold out in one day, and we couldn't believe that.
Wow.
And then people had an amazing time. And so, just all in all, it seems to be that everything we do, it's just very positive, and the community really responds to it. So now we're like basically helping each other in any way we can. We're doing events together wherever we can, whenever we can. And yeah, it's a whole thing now. But yeah, so to answer your question, this is the Ghost 2. So they just dropped this last week. This thing is insane, bro. Like truly
it's
insane.
brand new even, dude. I didn't even know that.
Brand new. Yeah. So basically, if anybody's familiar from your audience with the Switch 2, which is the product that they launched before this, the Switch 2 was the first product of its kind in the sense that it has descent mode built into it, which what that is the dab, basically every second it drops 1 degree. So that it kind of mimics a real dab rig, and it helps with not getting that what I've kind of coined the e-rig taste, and that weird feeling in your chest. It's the one thing I've hated about all e-rigs. And so when they created the technology with the descent mode, that was it. First time I hit the Switch 2, it was an absolute game changer. So then fast forward to last week, they dropped this called the Ghost 2. And it's basically, you just pop that open right there. You load in your dab. All right. And then you just close it. And then you hold it down for like 3 seconds and it turns on.
Typical
and then
vape.
If you hit it
Good.
once, yep. Yeah, if you hit it once, you can just shift through the temperatures. White's the hottest and purple's the coldest. And then there's 3 in between, right? And then once you get the temperature you want, you just double click it and it starts heating up, and it does its thing, right? But this has the same technology, that same descent technology. So when this gets to its temperature and I start hitting it, it's going to start going down in temperature to mimic the same thing that a dab rig would do.
Okay, so what is the problem with because I'm not huge on e-rigs, to be honest, because one of my very first e-rig, for the record, was a Dr. Dabber. And
That's
that
so
thing,
sick.
dude, that thing got me out of some dark corners, man, because it was like the first. This was groundbreaking. This was like 2015 or whatever, 2014. And the fact that you could take dabs on the go, it was unheard of, dude. Unheard of. So the boost was, it was the Dr. Dabber boost. But anyways, it was amazing. Yep. It was amazing. I loved it. Okay, well, it fucking hits, dude. It hits. Okay, so it
rips, bro.
My question was,
what's all flavor?
In all flavor. Gotta love that, dude. Especially when it's that Einbay. I've tried that shit. You ever tried that? Einbay's the great.
I've only heard of it.
It's fucking good, dude. Anyways, what was I gonna say? No. Oh, what's the problem, dude? Okay, so is it because of every other e-rig just stays the same temperature or drops too fast?
At the same temperature. No, it doesn't drop at all.
It doesn't.
So the way e-rigs work traditionally is that they don't drop down, and so the downside of that is your dab, it's oil, so it is evaporating as you're hitting it, right? So if the temperature is not going down, then eventually you get this weird taste. It's what I've called coined the e-rig taste. And then there's also this weird feeling.
I know exactly, dude. I know exactly what you're talking about. To me, it's a battery taste. Like it's like a fucking.
Yes.
It's an
that's
electric
because
taste.
There's no oil left, right? Or there's very little oil left, and so it's not dropping temperature to account for that, you know. And so naturally, the e-rig is going to just be harsh as soon as the oil is gone, and you're just smoking the ceramic or the silicone or whatever it's made out of, right?
Yes.
You know, the metal, the titanium, whatever, the atomizer, you know. And so it's not good. And I didn't know that that's what it was until I hit the switch to. And the first time I hit the switch to, I'll never forget it. Me and Jamie met. He calls me. He's like, "You got to try this thing." We met up at a sushi spot, sat in the parking lot. He pulls it out, and my first reaction was, "Why does it look like a coffee maker?"
Yeah,
you
it's
know
fucking huge.
And I told him that, and he laughed, and he's like, "Just try it." And I did, and I blew out that hit, and I was like, "What why? What is like?" And I was literally, I'm a glass guy, you know that, you know, and I was literally okay with not hitting my glass. Not that I switched, but that I didn't feel the need to rush to my rig. Like if the switch 2 was there and I had the option to smoke a rig, but I didn't want to do all the work, heat the banger, do the thing, right? I would hit the switch 2, where before I could have any e-rig in this house, a Puffco, a student, whatever, name your company. It's not that I have anything against them. It's that I just would always choose the rig. I would do the extra step, you know? And as soon as I got the switch 2, I just wouldn't. And then, yeah, the fact that this has that same technology, but that's to answer your question. I think it's because it doesn't go down. So you end up just evapping off the oil, and then you're just hitting the rig, and it just doesn't feel good.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense, because it does take like a heated, or like a like a ceramic electric taste. Right. Yeah, it's a good way to put it, dude. And shameless plug, dude, for Dr. Dabber, man. I'm glad you found a good rig, because finding a good rig is tough. Finding a consistently good rig is tough, and finding a durable rig is tough, because like I'm up here in Canada, in central Canada, and it's cold, dude, and so that thing needs to turn on at -40 and still perform. And so I'm excited.
Hold on, bro, does it actually, I mean, I know that there's places that get that cold, but does it on a regular basis get that cold where you're at?
Not regular, no. -40, -50 is something that happens usually a few weeks, like 2-3 weeks in the wintertime. Sometimes
you'll have weeks on end.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like those temperatures.
Yeah, dude. Yep.
Holy shit.
And you just survive, dude.
How do your cars even start?
Well, many don't, but
I was gonna say the oil would freeze, right?
Yeah,
something.
We have they're called block heater, which is essentially a heater that attaches to your oil pan or your somewhere on your engine that just keeps the oil cold or warm. and you plug it in. You plug it in.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
That's fucking
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
dude.
You just blew my mind.
Dude, I drive an electric Mustang, bro, and surprisingly enough, it still works in the winter. -40. The battery is about 60% what it usually is. Like, it's about 60%, but it
You
works.
lose 40% efficiency because of the cold?
Yeah.
I mean, -40, that's okay. That's
You're still
crazy,
getting
dog.
where you need to go, dude. Let me tell you, you're not traveling very
Whoa.
often, very far. It's usually just
Yo,
hockey,
the
dude.
fact, can we just make a side note? My man lives in Canada and owns a Mustang. You're a special type of dude, bro.
Dude,
love you, dog.
It's classified as an SUV, dude. It's classified as an
Oh,
SUV.
you got the SUV Mustang.
Well, it's an electric Mustang. And so the electric one is like it's called the Mach E, and so it's slightly different. Still called a Mustang, and a lot of people will be like, it's not a Mustang. Well, it technically is a Mustang, but they classify it as an SUV because like Ford had to compete against Tesla and Rivian and all these names. So what better name to use than the most recognized model for car in the world than Mustang, the Ford Mustang. But they couldn't just come up with a sports car because nobody would buy it, very few people, but instead made it like an SUV. It's a crossover, man. And it fits hockey bags, dude, and yeah, we just rolled over 130,000 kilometers, which is about 90,000 miles. And that's gas free, dude.
Crazy.
Gas free, no oil changes, nothing. We bought it because my family saves money. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's wicked, dude.
I'm picturing you in like a GT Mustang coupe. You're driving in like 4 feet of snow with -40 degrees, bro. Like, what are you doing, dog?
People do it.
That's
like,
so
let me tell you,
cool.
like, there's people up here with like, dude, there's a Lamborghini that drives around up here, like in the city not far from me. And yeah, in the winter, and I'm like, you're a lunatic, dude. Why would you do that? But I guess if you've got it, then why
That's
not?
crazy, bro.
But yeah, you
Yeah,
put
that's
winter
wild.
tires on anything, dude, and you can pretty much get anywhere. It's crazy what
Yeah,
the
that's
difference winter
crazy.
tires make, man. It's insane. So the last time that I saw you, dude, well, not in person, but the last time I saw you, you were on Gobcast, and
Yeah.
you were hanging out with Goblin. What's going on? I'm a huge fan of Goblin. I like what he's doing on the internet, and I know that you and him chum and hang together, and so it's
Yeah.
really cool to see you guys together and doing things. So I get a little bit excited, a little bit nosy. What's going on? What's going on with you guys? You don't call, you don't
Yeah,
write?
man.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, bro. No, Goblin, actually, I got introduced to him through Eric, and we ended up just going and getting some food one time. He was with Eric, and I had hit Eric up to chill, and we just ended up going and getting food. And he didn't introduce himself as Goblin, he just introduced himself as Nick. And it was good. We ended up just kind of clicking because we found out that we grew up in the same area. I'm much older than him, but the same places that he fancied back when he was a kid are the same places I fancied when I was a kid, and that was just a crazy correlation. Off of that, we just built a genuine friendship, and we've been friends for a few years now. And yeah, he's always been a good dude, bro. Like, I didn't know he was any famous dude online or any of that for the first long while. It was a few months before I realized or found out, or somebody sent me, so I don't remember what happened, bro. And yeah, we just built a genuine friendship. And then fast forward, obviously he's been around and we've been friends. He's tried all of the flowers that we've grown over the years, and he's been he's just tried the pens. He's tried everything that we've tried to do to do things and yeah, he's just, at one point he was like, hey, are you down? I approached him and asked him if he would be down to do a seed collab with me, because he really likes the GMO from us.
Who wouldn't?
And yeah, and so yeah, that kind of ended up turning into a thing, and he's helping me through letting me come on his podcast, and we just had fun and put on the masks. So like, it was great, bro. I should, it's so funny. But yeah, that ended up being great, bro. That's done well. And yeah, at the end of the day, we're gonna do a breeding project I believe it's gonna be with the GMO. But then he smelled the Lime Larry, and he really likes that, which is like a super OG, very, 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 very old school, very classic OG, and it's just insane. So it might be the Lime Larry. I don't know. He's gonna pick whatever he picks. But kind of similar to you, he's just kind of coming around, and same way that you guys landed on the fire shit. He's smelling things and trying things and figuring out what he likes, and he's kind of locked it down to one or two things, and now it's to the point where he offered to do the podcast, which is awesome. And he's obviously helping me in a major way, bro. Like, and his audience, same thing, bro. They've just been super responsive. Like, it's been really cool, man. Again, everything just happens organically. I ended up going to a dumpling spot with him, and then he is who he is. I ended up meeting you guys at High Rollers, and then you are who you are. And it's like, I can't call this, bro. You can't write this shit. This is a fucking movie at this point. I'm just living, bro, Like, so yeah, that's how we became friends, bro. And then fast forward a few years, the moment was right, the timing was right, everything was right when he was willing to really just help me out, bro, the same way you guys are willing to help me out. It's just love, and it's just genuine friendship, bro.
Dude, you said it, dude. It's just love, man. It's just friendship, brother. And it's like, you want to see friends succeed, man. And it's like, one thing too, it's friends are hard enough to find, but having friends that are passionate and like-minded, not the same minded, but like-minded and just hardworking, it's hard to find, man. It's really hard to find.
Yeah.
And so, it makes sense. And yeah, dude, I've been following Goblin for a few years now, and watching him evolve to who he is now has been great to see. And, I think the matchup between the two of you is going to be epic, and I can't wait to shout those genetics out, man, because dude, it's a journey well forged.
Yeah, it is, man. So it's very organic, bro. All this stuff is really, it trips me out, bro. I mean, it's so weird to have we can talk about anything plant related, but like these types of conversations, it's always weird for me because you would think it's scripted, bro. Yeah. And it's not.
I feel the same way, brother. If you get an opportunity, you run with it, man. Give it everything you have, so that, in my opinion, when I'm old and gray and I'm looking back, I can say, I left it all on the line. I left everything I had out, so that I have no regrets. I and I think that's the most important thing, man. I agree. I got one more question for you, dude. What does cannabis represent to you?
That's a crazy question, bro. You have good questions. The future, that's such a crazy question. I mean, it represents health. It represents community. It really does. Even though corporate's in it, it still represents community. It represents the ability to grow. I mean, to grow. It's such a crazy question, bro. I don't know how to answer that, honestly. That's a really deep question for me. It represents freedom. It represents so much, man, for so many people. Like, when you asked that question, I guess why I'm so perplexed is it was when you asked that question, the first thing I thought about was the hemp bill and all the stuff that's happening with that. And I guess that's why I'm stuttering how I'm stuttering is I just, what it means to me is everything that just got destroyed because of that bill. That bill, that dude took a payment from an alcohol company
McConnell
that lobbied. Yeah. And that is going to destroy like a 26 or 28 billion dollar a year industry. Not even weed. That's like, who cares about the dudes that are using a loophole to sell flour? I'm not even talking about that. What about the people that legitimately are using CBD to counteract seizures and or just pain, tinctures, people that have had surgeries and want to rub it on their scars or have sore this or achy that or are dealing with cancer, which we know that certain types of cancer CBD does not cure, but it weakens the cancer cells, if I'm not mistaken, and it makes it so that treatments are more effective and aid in certain types of cancer. So there's all these benefits that are so much deeper than anything to do with the sale of the flower or any of that shit or the loopholes. And this dude sold out for less than $1 million to destroy a 20 some odd billion-dollar industry. So it's like when you ask the question of what does cannabis mean to me, it means everything that I just said. It means so much more, bro. Like, I don't really talk about it publicly, but my mom has kidney disease, and she's had it for a long time, and it birthed out of a result of a different disease that she has. And my mom would never smoke. She was anti-smoking, like to the point where it was like, never, not even on my deathbed will I ever smoke with you, Chris. Never gonna happen, whatever, right? But then she got kidney disease, as a result of this other disease. And she ended up smoking with my roommate at the time before she smoked with me. And that was just a funny joke. Like, he ended up sending me a picture being like, I smoked with your mom before you did. And it was funny, right? And so, but fast forward, now my mom smokes, and it helps her. It helps her maintain her life. The kidney disease is not, for the most part, any worse than it was. It's just stable, it's steady. And this is, like 10 years now.
I can tell when you answered something. It mutes you when you get a call or when you get a text. Yeah. It's still muted.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Got it. No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it means everything that man destroyed for a measly little payout. He's literally affecting a 20+ billion-dollar a year industry that actually does help people. And even if all 26 billion in revenue generated isn't all for the good, and it is some people using loopholes and whatnot, the bulk of that money is good, because we're not talking about cannabis, we're talking about hemp, we're talking about the things derived from hemp, the CBD, and the ability to make these products and do things and fight cancer and help people from pain to everything in between, bro. And all to just keep the alcohol business going. And then you slip it in on the 11th hour, and then it affects people like my mom. So what does it mean to me? It means that, it's just more of a reason to fight. And sorry.
No, you're good. Please.
No, my throat.
Yeah, dry.
But yeah, it means that
it's good.
Yeah, super dry.
Good
It just
devs.
means we have to fight harder. It means that what we're doing is worth it. It means that for somebody to want to lobby against it, we're doing something right. And it means to keep fighting, and it means to keep believing in the plant, and it means to keep going after it for the plant, not for the money, and to keep having people that research it, and like the PhD you're hopefully going to find that wants to sit down and have a conversation. It means interacting with schools. It means interacting with parents. It means interacting with teachers. It means interacting with doctors. It means interacting and growing and educating people the right way, and having them understand that it's not about THC, and that there's so much more better use to it medically and recreationally. Both have their place in this world, and both are meant to be here. Our body says it, our chemistry says it, everything about us says it. So yeah, that's what it means, bro. It means we still got something to fight for.
Great answer, brother. Great answer, man. Thank you so much for your time, dude. Thank you so much for joining me. If anybody wanted to get a hold of you without going to Swanked Genetics, what would they where would they hit you up?
Instagram, just Swank Genetics.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we have, bro. We're very simple. Like, and to be clear, just because all the stuff we talked about in the beginning with like scammers and stuff like that, there's no telegrams, there's no WhatsApp, there's no nothing. Like, Instagram, that's it. And it's a verified account. So like, if you don't see the blue check mark, it's not us. No, we're never gonna hit anybody up. We're never gonna reach out to people like that. So yeah, just don't ever get scammed, because we won't answer. I promise you, we're not reaching out to anybody.
Great advice, dude. Great advice. Chris from Swank Genetics. I can't wait to come hang, dude. Dude, we could talk all fucking day. Bro, I'm going to be hanging out.
bro.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait, bro.
Like 10 days or whatever it is. It's gonna be so fun,
yeah,
bro.
11 or something. Yeah, whatever it is. Whatever it is, dude. I am so excited. Because you're in a new crib, too, right? You're in a new crib, and I'm going to come help break it in. You're going to be in the guest house?
Oh, yeah.
Guest room? Yo.
Yes, sir.
Dude, I'm excited, brother. I cannot wait. Thank you so much for making time for me. Huge shout out to you, and I'm excited about any and all of your projects. And you know that anything you're diving into, and if you need an extra voice to scream from a mountaintop, I'm your man.
I appreciate you, bro. It's always good love, and you're the man, bro. Like, you're a real one.
Right back at you, dude. Chris from Swank Genetics. Thank you very much. Everyone else, we'll be right back after this.
Come on and lift your glass. You've won your own free pass to be our guest. If you're stressed, it's fine dining we suggest. Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest.
What a conversation. Shout out to my boy Swank. That guy is an absolute blessing. And you know what? Your boy loves to get philosophical. And when we can get philosophical about this plant, why not, man? Why not? Who else is in favor of getting a doctor in here to kind of sit down with Swank and I to hash out cannabinoids, the effects on the body, and just really the combination of the two and how we can explore that. Are you guys excited for that? Because I'm excited for that, man. I'm stoked to do that, man. So shout out to everybody that was in the flock with all the kind words. I appreciate all of you, man. Good conversation out there, man. Thank you guys for reaching out. And yeah, as he mentioned, he only does Instagram. You can go to his website as well. I can't say or link his website for YouTube guideline reasons. But if you can pick up what I've been dropping down, you'll figure it out, and you won't be disappointed. So yeah. Fino, good questions too, man. You have me at Swank. Bring in the doctor, right? Yeah, I totally agree with you. Dr. Riley Kirk. Yeah, that Default. I heard Default say that too. So Dr. Riley Kirk, someone I've never spoken to before. So I'll have to reach out to try and dive into those conversations. Austin Long, 7700. I would love that show. Can't wait to see it. It'll be a banger, dude. Thank you for being here. And hey, good conversation about the electric cars too, dude. You know what? My wife and I, real quick, we purchased the electric car like 3 years ago now, and we're coming up on like 100,000 miles, but the batteries come with 8 years of warranty. So it's like, that's a long time. I'm already at 100,000 and it's covered for 8 years. The price difference, my wife and I had a Kia Sorento. We blew the engine in that car, and it was going to cost us about $12,000.
I wouldn't even say we blew the engine. The
No,
engine
it
was
blew.
faulty.
Yeah, it blew. There's a class action lawsuit.
We actually
for that.
went through 2 engines in that car.
Yeah. And so, needless to say, all said and done, it was like $12,000. So it's like, you lose a battery, you lose an engine. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be a lot of money, anyways. But you save so much money on no gas for me. It doesn't work for everybody, but I get it. I get it. I never thought I'd be justifying it, but it's like literally the Mrs. P and I got the car because we were spending so much money on gas. Live in the middle of nowhere. We drive our little P to school both ways, and then we drive him to hockey the opposite direction. And we were spending hundreds, almost like $1,000 a month on gas. So yeah, between the car payment and gas, this car's paying for itself, man. So not for everybody, but it works for me. And I'm always trying to save $1 or $2 here and there, wherever I can, because despite what the perception is, there's not a lot of money. There's not a lot of money here, and nobody's rich. None of us are rich. So save your money, hang on to your money, and make it last, and invest in your family. That's the number one thing. But man, what a banger conversation tonight. If there's anybody you guys want to have on the show, or if anybody you guys want to see in particular, let me know. Mrs. P, did you just Google Dr.
I found her website, and there is a contact page. So
Okay.
we will do that.
Okay.
She looks like the exact person that we want to have on.
Yeah.
She's a cannabis research scientist and educator with a PhD in pharmaceutical sciences, specializing in natural product chemistry.
Okay. Okay, that's really cool. I get intimidated by really smart people, but you know, I can carry my own sometimes. But dude, we'll 100%. We'll get her on, and we'll get Swank on, and we'll do them both at the same time. Have them both on at the same time. I think it'd be sweet. Pretty much an epic conversation, if I may. Yeah.
I think so.
So yeah, we'll do it. It'll be a banger. So Mrs. P and I'll get in contact with her, and then we'll see if we can get philosophical, because I love talking weed, man, and I love just any conversation. And I just I'm not going to shy away from it, regardless of my intelligence level. She got a book not too long ago. Okay. She got a book not too long ago. Okay. Good for her. Okay, I will definitely look in. I apologize for my ignorance. I come from the middle of nowhere, so it's tough sometimes, but that's not an excuse. Cheers, dudes. Best date night ever. Cheers. Mini Cannabis, thanks for being here, friend. Oh, what a smoke effect we have here. Guys, that's it, man. That's a wrap. That is Tea with P. I want to remind you guys that Stash Nutrients is now available for pre-order. Okay? Available for pre-order. So if you are interested, head over to stashnutrients.com and get your pre-order in today. Pre-orders are going fast. I love the response from you guys. Thank you. I know this is going to be a game changer. Let me toot my horn for just a second. We started Stash Blend, I don't even know, 2 years ago now. There has only ever been one complaint about Stash Blend, and that was the fact that it clumped up if you stored it in a not dry condition environment, like in a moist environment and open. Other than that, we have literally heard of no complaints because we put together an incredible product. And let me assure you, Stash Nutrients is no different. This is going to be a perfect fit for your garden. It's a great organic solution that's going to help you grow efficiently and effectively, and more importantly, it's going to save you a few bucks and get you some big results. So stashnutrients.com. It's formulated by growers, and the concept is, or the idea is how to save you money by getting you the best results. So check that out. I would say for growers by growers, but I'm pretty sure that's what Recharge is. Scotty's is. So I don't want to take his slogan. But go and check that out. The pre-orders are now live. Okay. Thank you guys so much for an incredible episode. I appreciate you. That's episode 78. Mrs. P, can you believe that we only have 22 more episodes before 100?
Damn.
That's insane.
We got to start planning for the 100th.
You're not wrong. It's Top Buds Extraordinaire.
Who's it going to be? Oh.
Rob, of course.
Rob's the 100th?
Who else? Yeah.
That's fair. He's our most frequented guest.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, homie. He's a homie.
Yeah, we'll have to do it big.
I think so.
Have some crazy shenanigans that
Some
night.
extravaganza.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll have to think about it. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of another fantastic episode. Thank you to Swank, Chris from Swank Genetics, for being here, diving into things. If you guys want more episodes, or if you guys want to see more of the show broken down into segments, the news segments are on Daily Tokes and Trends over on YouTube. Mrs. P is going to fire off a link real quick, and you can also find the interview portions of the show on Tea with P. You can also search up Tea Time with P, and that'll get you the spot. So that's the Daily Tokes and Trends. Actually posted a video today. That channel is going to be getting a good solid routine to it, so it's not monthly Tokes and Trends. We'll get into the Daily Tokes and Trends soon enough, but stay tuned for that. And if you want the interviews in just the interview form, you can head on over to Tea with P, because guess what, friends? You know, I'm assuring you, it is inevitable that the live or the interview portion of this live stream will be taken off. I'm going to make it so the interviews are exclusively on Tea with P, on Tea Time with P, on its own channel. This show is going to get a slight revamp going into 2026. I'm not going to give too much details, but it's going to have a slight revamp, which includes removing the live interviews and just having them live on Tea with P. So yes, stay tuned for that. New segments, new things to come with the show, and we're shedding the interview. Okay, Brina, I think so too. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's simple but beautiful all in one. I'm very proud of this shot. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. And I know you know that I noticed that you noticed, so thank you. I don't follow directions very well. It's okay, Fino. Me neither. 100th episode G-Way. Very well possible, Robert. Very well possible. But guess what? If there is one, I will do absolutely zero advertising of you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say the words because it gets clipped and yada, 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 yada. So, yes, I will be doing something where I disperse prizes of sorts, but I will not advertise about it, okay? You won't hear about it. It'll be nothing. It'll just all of a sudden, the 100th episode, which I will advertise, and all of a sudden we'll end up doing something like that. So, yeah, I just like to reward the people that are here, and I don't want to bring people in that are just here for free stuff. That's really it. I love my community, man. I love those that support me, and I think if anybody should benefit and get rewarded for that, it's you. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Other than that, guys, grow classes starting on Tuesday. If you are in for that, head on over to Patreon, okay? Patreon.com/pigeons420. That's where you'll get all the information, and that's where we will sign up the class. The tipper tier gets you started. Sign up and come and go as you like. Get access to that information and grow some pretty wicked weed, man. I assure you it'll be worth every dime. And at the end of the day, you will be providing yourself with some good quality medication and at a good affordable price. So if you're interested in that, it's a great way for me to build community. It's a great way for me to kind of get the information of how I grow to the world. And if you guys recall, I did a Subcool video. Thank you guys so much for watching that. And, you know, it's in the spirit of giving shit away, man, and trying to spread, giving things away for a price, I guess, but spreading my knowledge to as many people as possible and getting people dialed in a one-on-one basis. Yeah, you can find this information for free on the internet, and I encourage you to, but if you want it one-on-one in just plain Jane English, doing it with my bare hands, come join patreon.com/pigeons420. Guys, that's a wrap. I'll see you tomorrow on Twitch. Okay, twitch.tv/pigeons420. Until then, my friends, have yourselves a fantastic evening, an even better weekend, and I will see you next week here live for Tea with P on Thursday at 9 p.m. Central. You guys are fucking amazing. I love your face. I appreciate you. Stay medicated, have fun, and smile a little bit, because guess what? It looks good on you. Peace.
I can't believe diamonds so tough, and I don't wanna take you traveling.